Ooh, oh, brother. Take this. I cannot have that. Asking. That is absolutely asking to get fried. Okay, hello. We're gonna be testing some of the audio, and then we're gonna go live. Not yet, but hello. It's a fine thumbnail. Okay. I think we are live. Audio check. Audio check again. Let me position the camera. Audio check again. Audio check again. Right. Audio check for a third time. Position the camera. Audio check, audio. Audio check, audio. All right. Audio check, audio. All right. Okay, should be good. All right. Let me pull up. PFF draft tracker. That should be pretty good. And they're giving me a free trial. That is not what I want. I really gotta start remembering to put this stuff on Brave. Okay, we are live. We've got the 2027 NFL draft that is upon us. Super excited for it. Cannot wait. I'm going to send the link out. Let me send this out to anybody who's going to actually care about football. All right, here we go. The 2026 NFL Draft, Round 2, Night 2, whenever you want to call it, is officially upon us. I'm going to do one last audio check, and we will get rolling. Audio check. 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 Okay. Shut up. Round 2, round 3, super, super, super excited. Cannot wait. I'm going to be scrolling on Twitter a lot. I'm going to get the pick a lot in earlier. I have no ads. If you watch on ESPN, you're going to get ads. I have no ads. So I also know a lot about football. Can't tell you crap about baseball. Can't tell you anything about any other sport. And my hair is wet because I just took a shower. So, if you were wondering, wearing the Bryce Young jersey today. Got Monroe Freeling last night. My opinions on that. So I'll give my long-winded story. Ickey's hurt, obviously. We signed Rasheed Walker to a 1-year, $4 million guaranteed deal. $10 million for incentives. And I like Rasheed Walker a lot as a pass protector, but it's not a long-term deal. Monroe Freeling gives you long-term, cheap stability at that tackle position, and tackle is a premier position. Now, Taylor Moton is getting up there in age. I think he's like 32, 33 years old. And if you move on from him next year, you save about $17 to $18 million in cap. Save a lot of money. So financially, getting Monroe Freeling long-term was the smartest decision, even though I would have probably rathered Lemon, Thieneman, or even Omar Cooper Jr. So I like what we did in round 1. I'll give analysis to all 32 teams, not just the Carolina Panthers. And I think all 30, no, I know not all 32 teams have a second-round pick. I'll give analysis to all picks. If you saw my short, which you should follow me on TikTok, and watch my YouTube shorts. Don't really post a lot of long-form content anymore. They don't get any views. There's no point in putting the work into it. My favorite pick of the draft was Ruben Bain to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick 15. My least favorite pick of the draft was probably either Caden Proctor at 12 or Ty Simpson at 13. Matthew Stafford just won the MVP, and now you are drafting his replacement. And now there's even talks about them going on a long-term extension. So don't like the pick at all. In terms of Caden Proctor, I will pull up my big board at times in this draft here. I've updated it a little bit. So we do have a big board to look at. But the screen goes black whenever I flip the screens. So, oh yeah, this could be a problem. So if the screen's black, I do apologize. I think I can just go to just switch it directly. So we'll try that. Let me see how it looks on the good old YouTube. And now they're okay. Should be good. If I'm looking at my phone a lot, I'm checking Shefty. Well, I'm actually not checking Shefty. Shefty was quite behind. Probably going to be doing Ari Neroff. He got every single pick accurate last time, so I guess I trust him pretty much. And I will be looking at my big board and probably going to be changing the thumbnail. So I'll show off the big board right now. So highest remaining player. I'm going to turn the brightness down a little bit to try to conserve a little bit of battery. Best player available that is remaining is Jermod McCoy, Tennessee cornerback. I know there is a lot of concern about his injuries. I think he's an absolute dog, my number 2 corner in the class. And he ran a 4.38 despite that. So not super concerned. TJ Parker is still available. Manuel McNeil Warren is still available. Cassius Howe still available. Avion Terrell still available. Colton Hood still available. Jacob Rodriguez, Pregone still available. Caden McDonald, I thought I had him a little higher on my board at 34, still available. So lots of really high quality players in this draft are still here. And I've got to be able to remember to do that a little better. But the San Francisco 49ers, they are on the draft clock right now. So I'm actually going to pull up I'm kind of going to go watch. I'm going to watch the draft. And then I'm also going to kind of, look back, try and get the picks ahead. And they're going to be pretty quick with the picks too. So I'm going to pull up the draft, which officially starts in 8 minutes. So in terms of the San Francisco 49ers, I don't think right now there is a tackle that I would take here at all. Don't love how the board has fallen. Let me actually change the thumbnail really quick. Stock image time, baby. We can do that. We can try that. Stock image. Okay, that doesn't work. That's the 2025. All right, got my phone on the charger too because it's at like 12%. There we go. That's a more acceptable stock image to make as a thumbnail rather than the HTF logo, which isn't bad. I could go with the HTF logo, however, that's not the thumbnail. Nobody wants to see my forehead as a thumbnail. So, we'll do that. Stock image time. So that people actually know what they're clicking on and it's not some random ass kid. Well, I'm not a kid, by the way. I am 19 years old. YouTube, I beg you, please do not shut my stream down. I am 19 years of age. I repeat, I am 19 years of age. They shut my stream down the last time. I'm going to be looking at – I got to close some of these tabs. I'm going to be looking at a big board for reference, especially looking at positions because if you've watched, me do any other sport, I don't really know a lot of the names. I know everybody in the NFL. So this is my expertise right here. And really do think I've seen a lot of Cassius Howe, I think, to the Niners, and that does make a lot of sense. But at the same time, they just drafted Michael Williams last year, and they have Nick Bosa. So I don't know if that is my favorite. I don't know if that would be my favorite decision. The NFL draft is about to start, though, so I will pull it back up. We got Shefty on the line. I'll pull that up. I'll have my Twitter up on my computer. So I'll be actually watching the draft kind of in the background. I don't want the stream to get shut down, so I'm going to turn it really low. But I do want to hear a little bit of it because it's still fun to see the atmosphere. And I'm going to pull Twitter up. I'm going to pull up Ari Marov on Twitter. Okay. Ari is usually on top of it. He's pretty fast. Trust him as an insider. So we'll look at him. I'll also have it live on my thing. So, and then I'm going to do my best to close every unneeded tab. Because I've got a lot of schoolwork on here. So this is all right. There we go. That one does not apply anymore. Okay. Here we go. I can't do that. Okay. All right. So looking at best available for the Niners, off the top of my head here, I think I'd probably go edge here. Edge cash is how. That might be the best pick. Though Mail McNeil Warren, that's really tempting. If you want to go receiver, either Braswell or Bell. Would not go tackle here. They could go Pragon if they want to go offensive line. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go Pregnon or McNeil Warren for them. I think that would be the best two picks. This desk is broken, but it's whatever. There we go. All right. I'm going to go get some water so that we are hydrated for the second round of this draft. Reactions. All right. Hopefully I spelled that right. If they're going to go pass rusher, Zion Young's an option as well. But I don't know. Now thinking about it, especially since I have Michael Williams and Nick Bosa, I'm really thinking McNeil Warren or Pregnon are going to be the best fits. Emil Pregnon, number 33 on my board, so it would be equal value. And McNeil Warren is 23. And obviously, I think the biggest question mark of this draft is going to be how far does Jermod McCoy fall? Cornerback out of Tennessee. Rounds 2 and 3, in my opinion, are when you win the draft. You do not win the draft round 1. Every team's looking for a star. They're bringing up Roger right now. Let's get into a good draft. All right, Roger is at the podium. Super exciting stuff here. All right. God. The San Francisco 49ers are officially on the clock right now. Just want to make sure I've got all my ducks in a row. All right. Should be good here. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. Denzel Boston is Mel Kiper's best available. Mel Kiper's a freaking idiot. Again, I'm really thinking Pregnon here. Pregnon, if they want to go O-line, or McNeil Warren, would not be surprised if either goes off the board here. Gonna get as much early intel as I can. And insiders are projecting a trade-heavy night. There's a lot of really good talent here in round 2. I'm refreshing Twitter as we speak. So, again, McNeil Warren here, I think would be the best value for their best needs. They're let me pull up the Niners depth chart really quick. The only team I'm probably not going to do that for tonight is the Panthers, of course, because I know that off the top of my head. Questions, I guess, on Malik Mustafa. Jair Brown, pretty young player. Don't know if you necessarily want him starting. Malik Mustafa, they certainly do have questions, I guess, in that secondary. So I like Leonard quite a bit. They could have a question on corner. They could absolutely take a corner. How do you feel about Bernardo Green? I like Upton Stout at nickel. They could take Jermod McCoy. Who knows? They could absolutely be taking Jermod McCoy here. Their corner room is not the strongest. I would not hate corner for them. Would not hate it. Would not hate it at all. Pick is not in. The Niners are still on the clock. Again, I really feel like McNeil Warren could be one of the smarter picks here of the draft. If they really want to go O-line, Emmanuel Pregnon makes a lot of sense. I think he is the best offensive lineman available by far. Don't think it's quite close. But again, McCoy, the injury concern. So if you don't want a cornerback with injury concerns, would not hate Colton Hood. Really, I am a massive fan of Colton Hood. Really big fan of Colton Hood. Good press man corner. Good production with Jermod McCoy's absence for the Volunteers. There's going to be a lot of picks tonight, so get ready. They're just holding up the top 5 best QBs on Mel Kiper. Like, okay. I love Drew Aller, but outside of that, don't think any of these quarterbacks should go today. No quarterbacks other than Drew Aller are on my top 100 board, and there's 100 picks. So 66 picks that we're getting to, and I think teams have a 6 to 8 minute time limit. The pick is not in yet. Again, would not be shocked of a lot of trades. So trades are going to be something that I fully expect happen tonight, and quite a lot of them as well. Again, McNeil Warren makes a ton of sense for this team. They need a safety. They need O-line. But again, I don't like any of the tackles on this board right now. I think maybe Kalen Rutledge, but I see him as a guard, and he's in the 70s on my board. So I'm not a big Caleb Tiernan guy. Certainly not a big Caleb Tiernan guy. He's certainly a little bit lower on my board. I think, let me see. Say he's lower on my board. Caleb Tiernan is player 77. So I guess I'm not that low. 3rd round grade. Well, why the hell are they showing Carson Beck right now? Like, ESPN, I cannot stand ESPN. I could get 0 viewers in a stream, and I'm completely fine with that. I will never be an ESPN sellout. Ever. Mark my words. My assumption is that they're working on a trade. The pick is not in. The pick is in. Okay. The pick is in according to TV. And I might be behind on TV. Is Ari not on it? Is Ari not on top of it? The pick is in. Arizona's now on the clock. Once the draft gets going, it gets going. And I really like the flow of how last night went. It was really, really fast. De'Zhaun Stribling at 33. Oh, my God. Listen, I was high on him, but jeez. I got to stand up. Stribling was – okay. For reference, Stribling was a certified my guy. I love Stribling. But I not see 33 at all. Listen, I'm not going to give it a bad grade. I like it. I like it a lot. You need a big physical receiver. I am at player 71 on my big board. I love De'Zhaun Stribling. I absolutely love this pick, even though it is a gargantuan reach. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love De'Zhaun Stribling. That is shocking. I think this is a good pick, though. I really do. This is way out of left field. Was not expecting him to be the 6th receiver off the board, but I love him. So I'm completely fine with this pick. I did have him a little bit lower on my big board than he's going right now, but I love it. And obviously, I guess the Niners love him too. Dejon Stribling, I absolutely love this pick, man. I'm not. It is a slight reach, certainly. I think you could have gotten him a little later, but listen, I don't hate it at all. I don't know. They have pick 58. I think you could have gotten him there. I really do. I don't think he was going to go, but I don't know that. So this is a very interesting draft already. Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. Dejon Stribling to the San Francisco 49ers. This is insane, bro. Dejon Stribling, 6'2", 207. I love it. I love it. I'm going to give it a B minus simply due to the fact that, yes, it is a massive, massive reach. Let me make sure my stream is viewable. I'm going to go on a different channel and make sure that it is viewable. Because usually I get more views than like 2. All right, we're fine. We're fine. Arizona Cardinals are now on the clock. I absolutely love the Stribling pick. It's going to get a B, I think, for me. A B minus for me, just simply because of the value. Really like the player, but it is certainly out of left field. The Cardinals pick is in. This is going to be an action-packed night, y'all. They're going to take guard Chase Benacidis. Okay, I liked Pregnon a little bit more, but guard was a need. They need to fortify the offensive line. They decided to go Jeremiah Love instead of Maui Noah in the first. I had Rutledge. I have at 50, so I'm high on Rutledge. Sorry. I think I misspoke earlier. Jennings Dunker is the next best tackle. I'm at 74. Rutledge, however, has already gone, so you went to Houston. I have Chase Benacidis. Should have him somewhere near here. I'm lagging quite a bit. There's a lot going on. I need to turn my computer on Do Not Disturb as well. Chase Besantis. Sorry. Want to make sure I'm pronouncing his name as accurately as possible. I like the pick. 6'5" and a quarter, 315 pounds. Not a problem with that at all. No, I had him somewhere near here. Just have to find him. I'm at player 54. Okay. So I like Pregnon more. I'm gonna give it a C. I thought Pregnon was a better player, but don't hate it. Okay. UCF Wi-Fi, man. You gotta love UCF Wi-Fi. Okay, are we good? You've gotta love UCF Wi-Fi, man. You've gotta love UCF Wi-Fi. It is shit. I guess this is not like I'd want it to. So the Niners are no longer on the clock. So let me see if we can actually get a draft tracker, an accurate draft tracker here. Yeah. Listen, I said I hate ESPN, but we got to go with them right now. Chase Benasatis was the pick. Buffalo Bills are on the clock. The pick is in. Unfortunately, Draft HQ is not wanting to update for me right now. All right, connection should be a little bit better. Bills are going to select defensive end edge rusher TJ Parker at the number 35th overall pick. Hey, love the pick. They need an edge rusher. I love TJ Parker. Draft is certainly going to be moving pretty fast. Certainly going to move really fast. So TJ Parker is the Buffalo Bills pick. Like it quite a bit. Let me make sure my connection's good. Yeah, I should be fine. Okay.
Now I'm running errands and
Shut up. Bills pick is in. It's going to be TJ Parker, edge rusher out of Clemson. Really like the pick. Don't hate it at all. And now the Houston Texans are on the clock. There's not a lot of time for analysis, especially at this stage. But really quick, like the guy next to Gregory Rousseau, strong edge rusher, had a much stronger season in 2024 than he did 2025. Really, really good player. Love the fit out of Clemson. I like the fit in their scheme. I think he works better with power than he is with finesse. Don't think he's the quickest, twitchiest guy. And he was actually, I think, my number 4 edge rusher. So I do not hate the pick at all. Yeah, I don't hate it. I really like that. Really, really like it. He was under Bailey, Reese, Bain. If you count Reese as an edge. And the Las Vegas Raiders have traded the pick to the Houston Texans. I already knew that because the Texans are on the clock. So Vegas trades to Houston. Houston has selected defensive tackle Caden McDonald at number 36. This is an A grade for me. I love it. I often have them going with Caden McDonald in the first round. So getting him at 36, really like the pick right there. So Houston Texans select defensive tackle Chase Benasidis. Love him next to Danielle Hunter. I mean, you've got to get a little bit cheaper on that defensive line. You've got Danielle Hunter on a big contract. Just paid Will Anderson. And fortify the trenches. Always going to be, telling teams fortify the trenches, even though it's not the sexy pick. And on the D line, it's a little sexier than on the O line. But like the pick, I'm going to give it an A. So Caden McDonald to the Houston Texans. Jermon McCoy is going to be every team's best fit because his slide is crazy. All right. On the clock now are the New York Giants. They've had a great draft, in my opinion, selecting Francis Mauigoa and Arvel Reese. Reese will probably play inside for them for right now. That's the assumption. Texans jumped the Giants to take Kane McDonald in trade agreement to kind of know what the value is going to be later in the rounds for trading. Texans and Raiders. Texans trade away picks 38 and 91. Raiders are going to trade away picks 36 and 117. So pretty even-sided trade. They just want to jump up 2 spots. I think Dan should be making calls right now. I really do. Really like the pick. A pick in my book. Texans reached a lot, I think, on Rutledge, but I like the McDonald pick a lot. Again, really like it. A pick for me. So that's the pick. Really like it. Really solid move right there. Giants still on the clock here. And I think they were going to take potentially Caden McDonald. They wanted to probably take somebody to replace Dexter Lawrence, who they traded to the Cincinnati Bengals for that 10th overall pick, which they used to take Mauigoa. So getting nervous for the Panthers pick. Might take a restroom break and a processing break after the Panthers pick. So don't worry. Really like Caden McDonald, though. Think that's actually equal value if you're wanting to look at my big board. Had Caden McDonald at player 34. He goes at player 36. So, and again, it's not all about value. Value. Team fit to me is also so important. There we go. All right. Giants are on the clock still. I mean, they could go another receiver, potentially, next to Malik Neighbors. They've got Darius Slayton. Guard Pregnon. I think right now you've got Jonas Savannah. I think Pregnon has to be the pick here. I really do. They could absolutely go McCoy. I think it's got to be Pregnon, though. You cannot have Jonas Savannah out there. The Giants will select cornerback Colton Hood out of Tennessee with the number 37th overall pick. Love the pick. A for me. Really like it. Have no qualms with it. Qualms. That's a weird word. Colton Hood to the New York Giants at pick 37. Love it. A. Obviously, I do like Jermod McCoy slightly better but you have got those injury concerns with Jermod McCoy. So Colton Hood is a New York Giants. Pregnon is sliding a little bit further than I thought he was. And Colton Hood was, I think, player 30. Yes, he was. Player 30 on my big board. So good value to get him here at 37. I think the Giants have had a really good draft. They haven't hit on their corners in the past. So I think Deonte Banks, he's a bust. Special teamer maybe, but you haven't really done a good job on him. I think it's Deonte Banks. Not 100% sure. You know what? Let's make 100% sure. I'll look at the Giants' depth chart here. Reese going to be your inside linebacker. Maui Noah could probably play guard for you potentially. So, okay, right now they've got Francis Mauigoa at guard over Daniel Falalele. So, okay, I don't hate that. Thought he might have stuck at tackle, but they've got him as a guard right now. So that clears the offensive line for right now, I guess. Yeah, Deontay Banks, he's a bust. He already drafted in the first round. Greg Newsome is okay. Paulson Adebo, I like Paulson Adebo personally a lot from the former New Orleans Saint. I like him quite a bit. But you want to get younger there. Can never have too many good corners. A pick. All right, up next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Viva Las Vegas, baby. They've got to go O-line or receiver here. O-line or receiver. That's, I think, what Vegas needs to do here. O-line or receiver. Get somebody to protect your best asset in Fernando Mendoza. He is now the best capital you have, and you need to do anything to protect him, whether it's the trenches or whether it's a weapon. So my stomach's already churning for the Panthers pick, and we don't pick for like another 14 spots. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock. Again, I think a wide receiver makes sense here. Potentially Denzel Boston, even though I'm not the highest on him. Could see it. Could go Emmanuel Pregnon here. Like Emmanuel Pregnon. They could go interior defensive lineman, replace the hole from Christian Wilkins. Christian Miller, would not hate him here. Mocked him in the first round a couple times. I like him. They could obviously go Jermod McCoy. Who knows where his slide ends. Vegas, though, on the clock. And they remain on the clock. They have not made their pick yet. They have not updated the graphic to Vegas on the live broadcast yet. So not too worried there. Yeah, no, sorry. Texans got Caden McDonald. Giants got Colton Hood. I think I said something else. So Colton Hood, not Caden McDonald. Caden McDonald is the Texans pick. Want to make sure I do not mess that up. So McDonald, A. Colton Hood, A. Think that might have been what confused me a little bit. They're getting that post-draft analysis write-ups quick. Vegas on the clock. So right now we've got Stribling at 33, Benacidis at 34, Parker at 35, McDonald at 36, and Colton Hood is a New York Giant at pick 37. All right, gonna refresh Twitter again. The Raiders have picked Trayden Stukes. Oh God, I wanted him. I figured he was gonna go high. He is 25 years old, but he's a phenomenal player, man. Big Stukes guy. I think they actually picked him a little higher than I had him on my big board. I had Stukes at 45. I think it's a little high for a 25-year-old safety. I'm gonna give it a B+. I like Stukes. Didn't think he'd go in the 30s. I wanted him at 51. I thought for sure he was gonna be there, but he's not. I think Dan needs to be on the phone with some people calling about J-Rod. This is This is when I'd start moving up. They do need a safety. We shall look at the Vegas depth chart here. And Stukes, he can play nickel. He can play corner. And they don't have a great secondary, y'all. Jeremy Chin is awesome. Eric Stokes has upside still. Fast quarter. Darren Porter, upside. Taron Johnson at nickel. I like him quite a bit. But you need somebody that's kind of consistent, can play a hybrid role, either in safety or in nickel. And I really like him. So B+ pick. I think it's a little bit of a reach for a 25-year-old safety. But again, really like the player. All right, I'm going to take a 5-minute break to go use the restroom because, of course, I have to use the restroom 10 minutes into the stream. But I will be right back. Do not go anywhere. All right, we are back. The Browns pick is in. So trading Stukes to the Las Vegas Raiders. I've already gone over that. Cleveland's pick is in. And they are going to go wide receiver Denzel Boston. They are basically giving Jared Judy the middle finger. They take both Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston. I'm going to give this a B grade. Denzel Boston, obviously not my favorite player. Had him much lower than consensus. But in the second round, they still need a wide receiver. I'm good with it. Go get weapons for whoever your quarterback is. Give them somebody to throw the ball to. I'm at player 53, but again, much, much lower on him than consensus. So overall, I'm fine with the pick. I really am. Denzel Boston is player 39, though. Pair him with Casey Concepcion. And the Chiefs are taking edge rusher R. Mason Thomas. So got back-to-back picks here with my quick bathroom break. R. Mason Thomas is pick 40. So we've got sounds like they made their decision pretty quick. Cincinnati is actually the team on the clock. So KC goes R. Mason Thomas, like this pick next to George Karlaftis. In my opinion, two very different types of pass rushers. Karlaftis, more of a bigger, powerful guy, not super twitchy. R. Mason Thomas, that is his game right there. But R. Mason Thomas is undersized. That, I think, is the biggest thing with R. Mason Thomas. I like R. Mason Thomas. Kind of got lower on him as the year went on, I will say. Don't think I had him that high. I had him at player 64. But again, I do like the pick. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B minus. I think that there were better edge rushers. Zion Young being one of them, Gabe Yakas being another. But I guess R. Mason Thomas over Gabe Yakas, I don't have that much of a problem with. I'll give it a B. So R. Mason Thomas, and they got Peter Woods. So it's very obvious KC is trying to bolster that defense, going Mansour Lane, Peter Woods, and R. Mason Thomas. So I think that's good for Kansas City. Now, to try and get a little bit more draft analysis in, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals on the clock next. Man, if I'm the Bengals GM, man, I'm running the table for Jermod McCoy. They got to get more defensive help. That defense was so atrocious last year. Got to get Jermod McCoy. Would not be surprised, though, if they go McNeil Warren or C.J. Allen could be in play for them here. C.J. Allen could absolutely be in play. J-Rod could be in play. I hope they don't take J-Rod. Bengals are taking Cassius Howell, another edge. Okay. I like the pick, though. I do like Cassius Howell quite a bit. I had a first-round grade on him. So I'm going to give this an A. You do have Shamar Stewart. You do have Myles Murphy. One of them has to work. And you got to get to the quarterback at the end of the day if you're Cincinnati. And the guys that you have aren't doing it. You got to get new guys, I guess. And it's another D-line pick, which I don't love how much Cincinnati Bengals defensive linemen have busted. But you've got Shamar Stewart. You've got Myles Murphy. And now you got Cassius Howell. So add to that edge rusher group. None of those guys are proven. Make it a competition. Best man wins. So I don't hate it. I'm going to give it an A. So Cassius Howell, he's at pick 41. Still some really good players here. And if I'm Dan Morgan, I'm making a move. But I like the Cassius Howell pick quite a bit. Like Cassius Howell. Up next, we have the New Orleans Saints at 42. I'd be screaming for Zion Young if I'm the Saints. Try and go get Zion Young. And if they want a secondary, Jermod McCoy could be awesome. But again, those injury concerns really seems like teams are passing on Jermod McCoy, which I don't love. D'Angelo Pons is an option. So Cassius Howell gone at 41 to the Chiefs. No, not the Chiefs. The Bengals got Cassius Howell. I'm getting confused because the Chiefs just got on the pick. Chiefs get R. Mason Thomas. On the other side, George Karlaftis and with Chris Jones. The Bengals are going to get Cassius Howell. Again, already kind of did a little bit of analysis. They've busted on a lot of edge rushers, though. So really, really want to hit on Cassius Howell. I think he's a first-round quality player. I personally like him better than R. Mason Thomas. I think the Bengals got the better. New Orleans is up next. I'd be pounding the table for Jermod McCoy here. You got Quincy Riley in Kool-Aid. But again, Kool-Aid is does have some question marks with health. So do you want two injury-prone corners? I don't know. That's a decision they're going to have to make. Like our Mason Thomas a lot. Really, really good player for the Chiefs. They're showing him on the TV screen right now. The Saints are taking interior defensive lineman Christian Miller. I like this pick. I'm going to give it an A. I think I'm going to give it an A. Let me look at the depth chart really quick. But I like the pick a lot. Right now, you have Vernon Brawfin. They run a 3-4 defensive scheme. I love Brian Brzee. I like David Godchuk. Right now, you got Vernon Brawfin. You don't want to start him or Nathan freaking Shepard. So I'm assuming Christian Miller would probably plug in as a 3-tech defensive end. I like it. I like the pick. Gonna give it an A. Christian Miller's a good player. And it really shows, I think, what teams are going to think about Jermod McCoy. Don't think he's going to go for a long time. Christian Miller is a New Orleans Saint. I think he's really good. Has pass rush upside. Player with pass rush upside. Good run defender. Watched his tape. Thought he had some really good reps. Actually, I have my draft folder. Let me go get it. I can start reading my draft write-ups. And Christian Miller was actually one of the first players that I got to on the defensive line. Again, I really like it, and I'm kind of happy that NFL teams are higher on some of the guys that I was. You know, Dejon Stribling being a prime example. Did not think he'd go that high, but in the second round, you can afford to take some chances. On TV right now, Cassius Sal's getting his spotlight. I'm happy for him. Christian Miller. All right. Adam has an early second round grade. 4-3 nose tackle, but he could also be a 3-4 tech as a 3-tech. Powerful gap defender in the run game. Not really a good double team. Not going to be taking on a lot of double teams. And pass rush upside, play rec can be a little late. When moving inside from those gaps, those ABC gaps. So, like the player, like him a lot. Preferably the AB gap. So now the TV is finally caught up. They're announcing Christian Miller. And Area is now behind. So Miami Dolphins are on the clock. They've probably had the worst draft. I have a lot of friends as Dolphins fans. They have Caden Proctor. I don't like either of their picks. I don't like Caden Proctor. I don't like Chris Johnson. Like, I'm fine with Chris Johnson. I'm fine with Caden Proctor. But the value was terrible. And, man, I mean, the Miami Dolphins have had some of the – knowing them, they're going to take, like, Sky Moore or something here. When there are clearly better receivers on the board. I don't like Sky Moore. I mean, if they pick Browns picked Denzel Boston already. Miami, though, I mean, listen, Jermod McCoy's right here. You're not going to be good this year. They've got 220 left. You're not going to be good this year for Miami. So take Jermod McCoy, let him rest for a year if that's what he needs. Let him have a surgery, and then you have an elite corner. You're not going to be good this year. That's what Dolphins fans have to understand. They're going to be bad. So the pick is not in yet, and they are running out of time. 150 left on the clock here for the Dolphins. I don't think they know what they're doing. It says 250 on TV. I think it's behind, personally. I think TV's about a minute behind. TV's always going to be behind. Dolphins have not made their pick. No idea who the Dolphins pick is right now. Man, if I'm Dan, I'm calling teams right now to move up. I'm 1,000% calling teams to move up. Miami's pick is not in. The pick is in. Okay, never mind. I'm not looking at the screen necessarily. Come on, Ari. Give me the pick. They don't know who the pick is. Nobody knows who the Dolphins have picked. So the pick is in. They've made the pick. It's not being traded. But if they take Sky Moore, he's on my big board. I'm not as high on Sky Moore though. He's not bad. He was good for UConn. But Ted Hurst, man, is so much better. If you're gonna go a small school receiver, Ted Hurst is my guy. In terms of receivers, Chris Brazzell or Chris Bell are really good options, I think, for you. But again, I mean, Jermon McCoy is right there. He's right there. So is Avion Terrell. So is McNeil. They could get any of these players, and I'd be stoked for the Dolphins. I need them to get something. They got off. The Dolphins took J-Rod. A+. I love the pick. They finally got somebody good in this draft. They go Jacob Rodriguez at pick 43. That's who I wanted. J-Rod is not a Panther. It's unfortunate. I'd be thrilled with CJ Allen at 51, though. I would. 51, I think he's incredible value. But, man, I'm looking at these nickels. I'm looking at Avion Terrell right now. I'm looking at Jermon McCoy right now. And if I'm Dan Morgan, my chops are licking. I'm also looking at Emmanuel McNeil Warren. So, Jacob Rodriguez, A+ pick for the Dolphins. No problems with that. Love that pick. But at the same time, I don't think that linebacker was their biggest need. They've got Jordan Brooks. He's one of the better players available. So you don't – I honest to God don't know what Malik Willis is going to do because they don't have another pick until the third round. Malik Washington, get ready for your debut. Terrace Marshall Jr., Malik Washington. Like, poor freaking Malik Willis, bro. He's got Caden Proctor out there blocking. He's got Caden Proctor, Jonas Savanai out there blocking for him. The Jets are back up. I think they've had a really hit or miss draft. I really do. I like their draft, but I also don't like their draft. Don't like David Bailey. I'm fine with Sadiq. Love the Cooper trade. That is one of my favorite picks in the draft. Did not mention on my short. Absolutely love it. They could be a team that goes Pregnon. Could also go corner here. So think the Jets, I mean, listen, if they get Jermon McCoy here, would not be surprised. Again, Jets are another team. They're not going to be good this year. So they're showing Jermon McCoy because obviously that's the story of the draft right now. He is falling big time. Look at the Jets roster, though. I mean, McCoy's still such an obvious hole. Right now, you've got Brandon Stevens and Azir Thomas as your starting two corners. They could go Avion Terrell. I don't think their O-line is terrible. You could replace Dylan Parham potentially. If you wanted to go guard, that's what I would do. Emmanuel Pregnon to replace Parham potentially. But I'd be screaming for one of these corners. Could also go CJ Allen because they need a linebacker pretty badly. So you could absolutely, I think, go CJ Allen here. They need a linebacker. Man, I'm mad about the J-Rod pick. Two guys I wanted, Stukes and J-Rod are gone. I think that's a guy Dan wanted. I don't understand why he hasn't traded up. Listen, I trust Dan. I really do. No, you like J-Rod, but you can't get everybody. The Lions, okay, so the Jets are not on the clock. There's a trade. The Lions have traded up, and I actually mocked this earlier because get another Michigan defender on edge rusher on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. The Detroit Lions are now at 44, and they have selected edge rusher Derek Moore. I like it. Again, Zion Young is there, but character concerns, I think, are a thing. So I think that's why he's not being picked. And Derek Moore, player 49. So A grade. I like the pick. Lions with that trade there. No, we don't know the trade details yet. But I like Derek Moore there to the Detroit Lions. So Baltimore is now on the clock. There we go. They get another Michigan edge rusher. I mean, those Michigan Lions roots, man, they got to get a pass rusher. I think they lost all Quaden Muhammad, whatever his name is. He had like 10 sacks last year. Pretty crazy. Detroit needed another pass rusher. They needed a tackle, and they've gotten both of those. So really happy. I think if you're a Lions fan, they didn't take the tackle I would have taken. I would have taken Monroe Freeling for them. Blake Miller, I think I had a late first round grade on him. But I like it. Like it a lot. Jermon McCoy could be there for Carolina. I don't know if we pull the trigger because of the injury history, though. They have met with him. And one of the things Dan says that he does is medicals. You go over the medicals of a player. Anthony Hill is also here at 52. I'd be completely fine with him. Really, really like Anthony Hill. Baltimore Ravens are now on the clock. And here we go. They've taken they could be a McCoy pick here. They could be a McNeil Warren pick. So McCoy or McNeil Warren could easily go to this spot for the Baltimore Ravens. They took Mike Green last year. They take Zion Young, another edge rusher with character concerns. Let's go, baby. I was just about to call it before I said Zion Young to the Baltimore Ravens. Another edge rusher with character concerns. That is, we now know what does not matter to that Baltimore Ravens edge rusher room, and that is character. Because now you've got Mike Green and Zion Young, and I've heard some off things about Zion Young, but I love the pick. For the record, a pick for me. Love the player in Zion Young. Have heard some character concerns for him, though. So I just think it's absolutely hilarious. All right. He falls right into Baltimore's laps. They take another high-quality edge rusher. $53 pressures for Zion Young last year. Really like the player. Let me see what I had him on my big board. I'm getting nervous because the Panthers are about to pick. I had him at player 39, so good value. Oh. Avion Terrell could fall right into our laps. That would be elite. Keith Abney would be a phenomenal pick. I love Keith Abney. Again, you want somebody that can play the nickel because I love Mike Jack. And obviously got JC. If you take McCoy, though, you put JC at nickel. McCoy is an elite player. So, Tampa Bay is on the clock right now. They are the winners of the draft. Knowing them, they're probably going to take McNeil Warren. I mean, they have had such – they don't need a safety, but just kind of in reference. If they take Jermon McCoy, I'm going to be pissed. They could easily take Jermon McCoy. I mean, Ruben Bain and Jermon McCoy. That is Tampa Bay cannot take Jermon McCoy or Avion Terrell. Okay, they take Josiah Trotter. I'm completely fine with that. Woo! That's a bullet right there. Really good run defender. Not great in pass coverage. He was a little bit lower on my big board. Then he got picked. Let me see where I put him. If I didn't put him anywhere, that is an error on me. So he should be on here. I probably would have had him as a top 100 player. But I do make mistakes sometimes. So I'm sorry. I had him at player 84. Third round grade on him. I liked him. Do not think that he was. I'm going to give this a C-. Think there's better linebackers on the board. Hill, Golday. Even though I'm not the biggest Golday guy, do like Jake Golday. Think he moves well. Think he's a really balanced player. Which I really do have a feeling that's who Carolina's going to take. I want Anthony Hill. CJ Allen, another player that I'd have above Josiah Trotter. So Tampa Bay goes Josiah Trotter. I'm completely fine with that. Completely fine with that. I had him at player 84. I'm going to give that a C-. Just think there's better players on the board. And I like Josiah Trotter, don't get me wrong. But he's not a 3-down linebacker. He is a run defender first. Pure run defender, I think. He can block shed like a maniac. He is so physical. But they need somebody, obviously, to replace Levante David. Thought CJ Allen would have been a better fit there. Really like his instincts as a Mike linebacker. So, Indianapolis now on the clock, and we've seen Stribling and Boston go. And I think you could see another wide receiver go. Could also see an edge go. The edge rusher is available. Let me look at my sheet. I don't know if an edge is available that I would necessarily take, especially with Zion Young off the board. I love Gabe Yakus. Gabe Yakus could be somebody they go. Derek Moore's already off the board. So, in terms of edge, Gabe Yakus is probably, in my opinion, my best available. He's my best available on my board. Folk is already gone. Eli Stowers could be a very interesting pick here for the Panthers. R. Mason Thomas has already gone, I think. Yeah, R. Mason Thomas went to the Chiefs. Could go Romello Height. I think it's a little too early for him, though. There is a massive run on edge defenders. So that has kind of been the position, if you will, that's been flying off the board. Colts are on the clock. Not super worried about who they're going to pick. 1 second. Okay. We're behind a little bit. Indianapolis, they've been on the clock for a little. So Josiah Trotter going to go 46 overall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. People are hyped in for the draft. Oh, Josiah Trotter, I'm completely fine with that, man. They could not have gotten McCoy. They could not have gotten Terrell. And again, even though Terrell's kind of moved down a little bit, running that 4.64, he doesn't run that on tape. Think he can play outside, inside. Good blitzer. Think he'd work wonders in a Vero Javro scheme. And a guy who can play the nickel. No, I don't think Dan Morgan's panicking at all. I think, the board's setting up for quite a few good players. And do they want Jermod McCoy? He is falling right now. There's no way. Who's going to take the chance on Jermod McCoy? We saw this with Will Johnson. He went at pick 47. So, but Will Johnson's issues were from a lingering college injury. Jermod McCoy's are a little bit more, we don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty with Jermod McCoy. So that is a concern teams have. Rightfully so, I think. Steelers have traded up with the Colts, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are taking wide receiver Jeremy Bernard at number 47. They tried to take Micaiah Lemon last night because the Eagles actually decided that they were going to jump them. So they wanted to take Micaiah Lemon, and they get Jeremy Bernard, very low floor receiver. This is an A grade for me. I like the pick. I actually think they took him. I think I had Bernard very close to player 47. I had him at player 48. Antonio Williams. I'm very high on Antonio Williams. One spot ahead of him. So, Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we've got Atlanta Falcons, Minnesota Vikings, and then I think Carolina's coming up. Steelers have traded up to select Jeremy Bernard. The Jets are at 50. So we've got Falcons, Vikings, Jets. Picks are going a little slow. Jeremy Bernard, like that. Think he's a good complement with Pittman and DK Metcalf there. Got 30 solid receivers right there. I like it. I like the pick a lot. Jeremy Bernard, one of the lowest floor receivers in this class. Let's see how much Dan cares about injury, because you're gonna you could get. I mean, you're gonna get a dog, no matter who it is. I love Jermod McCoy. I really do. At 51, at 51, I would 1,000% be willing to take that risk. I don't think they could make a pick that would upset me. AJ Halsey, I know they like him a lot at safety. Big physical safety. Not the greatest athlete, really good ball production. Hard ass hitter. He can hit. He can truck. I mean, this is not going to compare him to Cam Chancellor. but that is the type of play. Like, he is physical. He is a dog. He's going to hit you as hard as humanly possible. Not my number one player on the board. Where did I have Hulsey? Wait, oh no, he might have been one of the players. Again, this is not perfect big board here. I'm gonna have to edit this. Where's AJ? Okay, never mind. I have AJ Hulsey at player 57, so it would be really good value. Well, when you have so many players, you kind of forget who's where. AJ Hulsey, player 57. So if we were to take him, be good value. There are players with the better value, in my opinion, on the board. Jermod McCoy, Avion Terrell at 51. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Bro, we could get McWarren in the second. I love McNeil-Warren. Listen, having two Trayvon Mowericks back there. Shouldn't have been expecting much, though. The Falcons have taken cornerback Avion Terrell to pair with his brother AJ Terrell. Probably should have expected that. Falcons do need a number 2 corner next to AJ Terrell. Now they've got Avion Terrell. So, undersized corner going to the Atlanta Falcons. Not great for us, obviously. Don't really want to play up against Terrell, but McCoy is still there. Jermod McCoy is still there. So, Avion Terrell, A+ pick. Really good. Not A+. A pick. I want to give it an A+. I mean, you're pairing him with his brother, yeah. A+ pick. That's probably my favorite of the draft. I mean, my favorite so far of both rounds have been if the NFC South, then it hasn't been us. They go Avion Terrell to pair with AJ Terrell. That is, love the fit. Love the fit. Avion in the division. Dan Morgan, not trading up. He is staying put. For now, the strategy could be to move back up into the second tonight. Maybe he moves up in the third. We'll have to see. Because I think the board has fallen to him pretty nicely. Maybe in the third round. We have not made a singular trade yet. Maybe in the third round we move up. I'd be running the totem pole for Emmanuel McNeil-Warren right now. Get Nick Scott off my field, bro. Get Nicholas Scott off my field. Please take McNeil-Warren. AJ Hulsey I'd be fine with as well. I mean, you got to take McNeil-Warren, though. I'm going to go get some water. I will be right back. Kind of surprised Dan is not traded yet, though. Would expect maybe some movement in the third. But right now we are sticking and picking by the looks of it. Could always trade up a couple spots. The Vikings. The Vikings could absolutely take McNeil-Warren. Yeah, Vikings are probably going to take him. Head scratcher with Caleb Banks. But if they take McNeil-Warren, that draft is looking a lot better, I think, for you if you're a Vikings fan. McNeil-Warren is still there. If I'm the Vikings, that's exactly who I'm taking. I don't want that to be the case. I want McNeil-Warren. But if I'm the Vikings, that is a home run pick right there. And there is a very realistic world in which McNeil-Warren and Jermod McCoy go back-to-back here. And I'll be pretty freaking sad. And then I think our pick would probably be C.J. Allen or Hulsey. Man, would like Dan Morgan to potentially be a little bit more aggressive here, but trust the GM, as always. Trust his value. Trust the moves. Avion Terrell going with the Falcons. Bro, the Vikings are about to take McNeil Warren, aren't they? If they do not take McNeil Warren, they don't know what they're doing. He is clearly a need and fills it instantly on that roster. Easily. Immediate need filler. They got to take McNeil Warren. I don't want him to go, obviously, because I want McNeil Warren. Oh, man, you feel would like to see Dan be a little bit more aggressive here and get McNeil Warren or Jermod McCoy, but how would I know? I'm just refreshing Twitter right now. They're going to take McNeil Warren. Vikings fans are going to be happy. It would be a great pick. It's the right pick. McNeil Warren feels like the home run chalk pick. You've got to take him if you're a Vikings fan. Harrison Smith potentially on his way out. The Vikings could absolutely use a player of McNeil Warren's caliber. I was debating whether him or Thieneman were the better safety for a long time. Absolutely, both were first-round talents for me. The draft closed on me, so I got to reopen it. Oh, these are the most stressful moments of my life, bro, as a Panthers fan. I'm more stressed out right now for the Vikings pick because I don't want the Vikings to pick the guy I want, which is McNeil Warren or potentially Jermod McCoy. Vikings aren't making moves. Maybe we've traded. The Panthers are on the clock! The freaking Panthers are on the clock! Daniel Christopher Christ Morgan has made the move. Carolina Panthers are on the clock. Dan Morgan trades 2 spots up to get either Jermod. I'm assuming this has got to be Jermod McCoy, right? Because you'd assume the Jets. You're thinking the Jets are going to want to take McCoy at 50. Pick is in. It's got to be McCoy, bro. Got to be McCoy. McCoy or Lee Hunter? Oh! Why, bro? Fuck the trenches. Fuck the trenches, bro. Listen, he's not a bad player. But D tackle is not the need. I don't know why I'm upset. I mean, Lee Hunter's certainly not a bad player. I mean, nobody's going to get through us on the run. This is the most trenches draft I've ever seen in my life. And Lee Hunter, a lot of people were mocking him in the first round earlier. So, it's not who I wanted with Emmanuel McNeil Warren on the board. But again, that D tackle room, this now gives it clarity. And Lee Hunter could potentially start over Bobby Brown. So let's put the emotion aside. Lee Hunter is a really good run-stuffing defensive tackle. And this is Dan Morgan is making it very clear that this is a trenches draft. Big Ben here. I like Lee Hunter. I do. Where do I have him on my big board? I had him at player 67 on my big board. So, again, do not hate the pick. Don't think you need to trade up to get him. Obviously, want to know the details of the trades. If we go to center round 3, I might actually blow my shit smooth off. Listen, I try not to curse on stream. I really do. But in defensive tackle, it is a valuable position. Have him at the nose, your future nose tackle. You got Turk Wharton. Lee Hunter's a pure run stuffing nose tackle. Really, really stout against the run. And we take two big men with our 2 first-round selections. It cannot be a center in the third. You cannot go center in the third. You've got to get a safety or a linebacker. And I guess they really like the third-round safeties and linebackers on the board. Juan McNeil Warren, but I can't get mad because Lee Hunter is still really good value in the middle of the second round. I'm going to give it a B pick, a B grade. Not what I wanted, but I understand the move. They cannot go trenches until day 3 again. And I'm not anti-trenches necessarily. You can't take trenches with your first 3 picks. It's like I like Freeling. I like Hunter for what they are. I like Hunter for what he is. Certainly was the best defensive tackle left on the board. If you were going to go defensive tackle, anyways, that's who you would have gotten. Really good run stuffing nose. But with McNeil Warren still on the board, I don't know as a Panthers fan if I can get behind it. B grade. Not going to get super emotional here. Could have had CJ Allen, man. Could have had CJ Allen. I don't hate Lee Hunter. I don't hate Lee Hunter. I like him for what he is, but there were better players on the board. Did McNeil Warren kill somebody? Like, what is going on? All right, trade details. I got to know the details. What did we get? Trading up for Lee Hunter is not something I wanted to do. I think that was at pick 49. Jets are taking D'Angelo Pons at pick 50. I honestly would have rathered him. What did we give up? Probably couldn't have been much to move up 2 spots. Don't hate it. Let's see what Panthers Twitter has to say. They're not going to be fucking happy. Jets could have taken him. Lee Hunter's a good pick. I mean, listen, we're going to looks like the strategy is win up front. That is very obviously what they want to do. And at the same time, they had such a good free agency when it came to those skill positions. Those skill defensive positions, got that pass rush from Jalen Phillips, and you got that linebacker in Devin Lloyd. So for that, they made me very happy. Lee Hunter's not who I would have chosen. But B grade on the pick. And looks like the strategy is to win up front. The Vikings have gone to Emmanuel McNeil Warren, A+ grade. I mean, Vikings fans have got to be so relieved after the Caleb Banks disaster. Reaching on, oh wait, no, they've not gone. Emmanuel McNeil Warren just has him as a best fit. That's my bad. I got confused. They should take Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Jets get Pons, A. Love that grade. Love that pick. Very obvious that Jermon McCoy is going to continue to slide. What did we give up for? We went up 2 spots. Couldn't have been much. Lee Hunter. isn't great. And we have traded 159 to go back in the 6th round and select at 196. So he wants both offensive and defensive line to be the best in the league. And when we were good last year, we were controlling the line of scrimmage. So B grade would have preferred other players, but it's I like the value. And 3rd round still has really good safeties and linebackers. And Avero likes Nick Scott. So looks like the plan is to keep Xavier Legette right now. They could get Deebo Samuel. They could get David Njoku in free agency still. So, and also consider this. All of this is going to save us money. If Turk doesn't play up to par, you can cut him next year. I think I probably screamed a little too loud. 5'9", tough physical corner, D'Angelo Pons. It's very clear, when it comes to the cornerback position, that they're confident and comfortable right now in Corey Thornton, which, okay, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Vikings have selected Jake Golday. With McNeil Warren on the board, it's a fine pick. Like Hill Jr. better, like CJ Allen better. I don't know what is happening with CJ Allen. Like the pick though. Not mad. They did need a linebacker. I don't know what is happening with McNeil Warren. He's not somebody I expected to slide. And again, Dan Morgan, he wants the O-line and D-line to be the best in the league. And at the time, if you're going to go tackle and you're going to go D-tackle, those were the 2 best tackles. My initial reaction was immature because I wanted somebody else, but I also understand how we are building. Now that I'm thinking about it, I like the pick. I'd even be willing to give it a B+ because Lee Hunter is so good at stopping the run. And DeJon Stribling 33rd overall might be. Listen, it's a reach. Certainly a reach. They wanted trenches. 51. He does not. Dan Morgan does not want the Panthers to get bullied in the trenches. It's very obvious. I'm not going to be happy if they take a center, no matter who it is, in round 3, because that is just boring. Trenches. I mean, I guess it makes for an interesting day 3, but gotta take a linebacker, gotta take a safety. And I couldn't understand if Leonard's their best player on the board. There were times when it looked like he could go in the 1st. Vikings take Golday at 51 with McNeil Warren on the board. I don't love it. Must mean something with Harrison Smith. Wasn't really thinking Lee Hunter. It is pretty top heavy at D-line. And again, Dominique Big Citrus and Grayson Holton, 3rd round picks. And then it just Caleb Proctor, I love him. Zane Durant could be a nice pick. Okay, I'm over myself now. God, the stream's behind. I'm over my frustration. Not who I would have picked, but they're going trenches, and Also, this is going to save us a lot of big money, especially the Freeling trade long term. And Deebo Samuel is still out there. So can't go wrong with it. Not a pretty boring pick again, but would love to see us, have some action. Trading down 3 spots. We no longer have 159. We have another 6th-round pick. I think we go down to 196. Still another pick to be made here. Averaging a B+ draft for the Panthers, even though I wouldn't have done it. The Packers have taken corner Brandon Cisse. I don't know if Jermon McCoy is going to get drafted, guys. I am. They go Brandon Cisse. B-. I'll give it a B. At 52, I don't hate Cisse. I like Abney more. Hood's off the board. I mean, if you're not going to take, I'm at player 56. I'll give it a B. They need a corner as well. I love Keith Abney. He's still here at player 37. Man, if the Panthers could get him at 83, that would be elite. But pick 52 because we trade up to 49. So Lee Hunter, top 50 pick, Monroe Freeling. And I think you got good value on both of those guys. Not great, not flashy picks. Don't believe that best player available shit at all because Emmanuel McNeil-Warren had to have been higher on that board than Lee Hunter. So I don't believe the best available player smoke at all because maybe McNeil-Warren killed somebody. I just don't know it. Brandon Cisse is a solid pick though. Athletic corner, high upside. You can get lost a little bit. Like Brandon Cisse, though, quite a bit. Super, super athletic corner. Really high upside. He's a bigger corner as well. But I want to know what McNeil-Warren did because there wasn't an injury I knew of. Cisse, great speed, 10 passes defended last 2 years. He doesn't really take the ball away all that much. Really physical and press. Can get flagged a little bit, but like the pick for the Packers. B grade. All right, Indies here at 53. I don't think they've made a pick yet. Yeah, India's trade down. Panthers straight up to pick 49. Dan's first move of the day. Lee Hunter is a Carolina Panther. D'Angelo Pond's going to pick right after. It does hurt. But I think Lee Hunter, for what he is, he's a good player. And I said I didn't want Lee Hunter. I would have been hating Lee Hunter in the first. In the second, though, I like it. And at the same time, right, if you view Pons as an outside corner, they want to show Mike Jackson that they're not giving up on him. And I'm assuming that this is going to mean an extension for Mike Jack. Pick is in for Indy. So I don't know who it is. Area's been behind a little. Pick 21 now in the second. If you're enjoying the stream, like, subscribe. Pat McAfee is announcing the pick, and I don't know why Aries not on top of it. All right, for the first time, I'm going to be finding out the pick on TV. He's going to shit talk everybody. That's great. Really sorry for the language, guys. They're going to pick C.J. Allen, linebacker, Georgia. A. Really good value. Really, really good value. Elite. I think he's going to be a really good linebacker for them. Obviously, McAfee knows what he's talking about. Let's look at Indy's depth chart. We haven't done it much. And right now, their linebackers are as follows. John Bullock, Austin Ejaki, and Akeem Davis-Gaither. Yeah, you had to take a linebacker there. Absolutely had to take a linebacker there. A-plus pick there for Indy. Love it. You had to get a linebacker. You absolutely had to. The Eagles will select Vanderbilt to tight end Eli Stowers at 54. Okay, interesting. Guess Ari hates the Colts. Eagles go Eli Stowers. Probably going to put – honestly, I don't know what they're going to do. This guarantees that they're going to probably be trading A.J. Brown probably to the New England Patriots from what I've heard. Yeah, I like Stowers quite a bit. Gonna give it a B+ grade. They got Goddard already. Got Lemon too in this draft. I had Eli Stowers at player 61 on my big board. So good, not great value for the Eagles. Like the pick. Even though we don't pick again until 83. Kyle Louis would be the perfect player. Oh my gosh. There are some players that I think that I would really like if they take in the 3rd and 4th. They're probably going to go with center, though, because they are – I mean, listen, if they take a center, it is what it is. Go all in. If they're going to, make this purely a trenches draft, go all in. I'm not about it, bro. I'm not. You got to replace Nick Scott. I guess they like what they've got in Trevin. Going to give him another chance, which I don't hate. Not going to be the happiest. New England Patriots are now on the clock. They have traded with the Los Angeles Chargers. So we've got a trade here. Patriots on the clock. Patriots are taking Gabe Yakis, one of the certified my guys in this class. A grade. Needed a pass rush to replace Clavon Chason. And so far, let me see who they got in the first, because I do not remember who they got in the first. They got Lemo. Okay. So they go Lemo. And Yakis. Like the picks. Offensive and defensive line. Yakis is super, super powerful guy. 10 sacks last year for Illinois. Super powerful edge rusher. Really like him for his power. Not the fastest. Does not really have any sort of bend on tape. Really like the pick, though. Yeah, we're chilling after Lee Hunter. What wasn't the happiest about it, but they know that they're competitive, and I guess they are confident enough in XL and Trevin Wallace. And what this shows is that Dan Morgan is not giving up on the 2024 class. That is exactly what this shows. Whether it's Shaw Smith-Wade, and you also have Lathan Ransom. So and Damani Richardson, so you don't have to take a safety if you don't like Nick Scott. And you also need a replacement for Achane, a cheap replacement. And it's not the sexy pick again, but at the end of the day, guys, McCoy could be there at pick 83. Like, if somehow, some way we can get Jermod McCoy at 83, it's not going to happen. Nobody's taking Jermod McCoy. For me, it was more McNeil Warren was right there. You could get a pretty good safety, though, in the third. That's kind of where I'm looking, third round. And they go trenches first, second round. Don't get a center. No, I mean, I'm not anti-trenches. You know, the initial reaction's like, don't want it. But, you know, Lee Hunter was not a first-round player. Never thought that because he was being mocked in the first a little early in the process. Never thought that. Solid day 2 player, though. Oh, right now, because you've missed with so many weapons, and these are safe picks right here. Dan Morgan fortifying the trenches, and listen, once you fortify the trenches, 2027 has such an elite draft. So this is obviously a very trenches-heavy draft for the Panthers, and that weapon, offensive or defensively, can come soon. Pick 83 exists. Pick 119 also exists tomorrow. So it will not be live for day 3. Don't know all those guys. Not going to make myself look like a fool. Know most of them. Love Gabe Yakus, though. Gabe Yakus on my board was 52. Barely missed the top 50. Anthony Hill's here. Antonio Williams is here. Chris Brazel's here. Chris Bell is here. Keith Abney is here. Pregnon is still here, I think. Let me double check. Don't think anybody's taking Pregnon. Stribling is, I think, the surprise pick of the draft. Yeah, nobody's taking Emmanuel Pregnon. Patriots are going to take Yakus. Like that pick. A couple more picks in the second round, and then we got the third round, then we got compensatories. So we're sitting here. Gabe Yakus. Vikings. Okay, we got a trade here, fellas. We have a trade. Breaking trade here. Breaking trade news here. The Eagles are wheeling and dealing as they always are, and this is an incredible trade here by Howie Roseman. He has had a wonderful draft so far. The Vikings are trading Jonathan Grenard for the Eagles for a third-round pick this year, a third-round pick next year, and Philadelphia is signing him to a 4-year, $98 million per year contract. Wow. So Vikings, they get good value. They trade off Jonathan Grenard. Okay. There we go. So we've got our first player trade of the draft. Jonathan Grenard. Now a Philadelphia Eagle. Vikings also with an extra third-round pick later in this draft. So Jaguars on the clock here. Their first pick of the draft. Who knows? Third round could also be a Brian Thomas Jr. spot, too. Jags on the clock. Anthony Hill Jr. is their best fit. Let's look at the Jags roster. DT, there's not enough good defensive tackles. I think we've kind of taken them. Now, the Jags have a lot of third rounders. Gabe Akis, I could think. Okay. Looking at the Jags depth chart, center right now is Robert Hainsey, Patrick McCarry, Ezra Cleveland. They could certainly be going Pregnon. They could go inside linebacker, could go Anthony Hill. Ventrell Miller right now is their starter. Don't think they want that. Yeah, either Hill or Pregnon. Hill or Pregnon has to be the pick here. I've been wrong quite a bit. Jacksonville on the clock. Yeah, they're announcing the Gennard trade live. Adam Schefter announcing the Gennard trade live. Like that trade a lot for the Minnesota Vikings, even though I think they've had a pretty crappy draft. Jags on the clock. My volume is cut out on the stream. Jacksonville on the clock. I'll probably watch day 3 like a normal person. Or I'm certainly going to be watching day 3. Might watch a YouTube stream of it because I've studied a lot in this draft and know way more day 3 players than I used to. And a lot of, I think you're going to see some players slide. Man, Jermon McCoy is sliding. I heard a rumor he could slide to 70, and I didn't see it. His ACL literally must be deep fried. All right, Jags pick is being announced. Nate Kirker, Texas A&M. Not gonna lie, did not have a profile on him. Was done on my big board. Borkicker. We'll do I'll look it up. He is the first player that I have had zero clue. He posted a whopping 19 catches, 138 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Texas A&M last year. Didn't think he'd go in the second round. Good backup with the potential to develop into a starter. They had a 4th round grade on him, compared him to Tyler Conklin. In a Borkicker, flashes quickness to uncover against man underneath, sure-handed with the ability to make sudden adjustments on the throw, and survives and thrives when faced with pushing catches. Some weaknesses are light production levels as a pass catcher, can do a better job working back on the throw, and inconsistent footwork. Okay. I guess it's a C. They have Brenton Strange taking a tight end. Doesn't make a lot of sense in my eyes. So, C grade there. Don't love it, but I guess it is what it is. Really hope my Chromebook computer does not die before the draft goes out. Don't think it will. I gotta charge up. Might need to switch the mic and charger cable. Don't necessarily want to risk that, but running a 3-hour stream has its quirks. Barham is also available. I had him pretty high on my big board. Could have had him higher up them a little bit. Barham's just a little raw for me. But can play edge, can play linebacker. Ari is not locked in right now. I'm going to go over to Jordan Schultz because I'm not getting the picks leaked. Yeah, I mean that was Bo Kirker. Okay. I'm going to assume that that's how you say it. Jalen Phillips obviously went to Carolina for them. Bears on the clock. The pick is in. I mean, they already got Thieneman. So, could take a pass rusher on the other side of Montez Sweat. Could take a wide receiver after trading DJ Moore. Would love Brazel here. And, those who said we would not see a run on receivers are absolutely right. And I think that that's exactly where Carolina needs to go in the third round. There are going to be some really good receivers and potentially some really good linebackers in the third. So maybe Dan is making the right decision. Again, McNeil Warren is still on the board. Okay. Panthers trading up to 49, moving a couple spots back, day 3. Bears will select the first center off the board. My center 1, Logan Jones. Okay, I like the pick. B grade. Logan Jones was my center number 1 in this draft. Don't know if I had him super high. Not an elite center class, which means Carolina absolutely cannot go center because that would have been the only center I was. That was the only center I was happy with. I had him at player 81. But he was my center 1 if they were going to go center. Not all teams go BPA. I like the pick. B grade. Carolina cannot go center though. That would have been the only guy I would have probably taken in the third. In the fourth, maybe. But man, I mean, we trade up in the second and trade down in the 5th to the 6th. So that is what we're doing there. Eagles just got Jonathan Grenard from Minnesota. Feel like we're lagging a little. We were going at a good pace, and now it's getting kind of clunky here. Just kind of waiting for the picks. Chicago going Logan Jones. I like the pick. I like the pick a lot. Cleveland Browns on the clock. They've gotten both wide receivers. I would like Drew Aller here. I'm going to be the only one who says that. Drew Aller to the Cleveland Browns at 57. You get a B pick, which maybe you don't want to be pick. They could take Jermod McCoy. They could take Keith Abney if they want corner next to Denzel Ward. But I'm not 100% sure what they do. Do not know what they're going to do. Browns picking here at 59, trading with the Niners. Cleveland on the clock here. Biggie's in for the Browns. Do you home run it with Jermod McCoy? get the A+, or do you go with Pregnon? Do you go with Drew Aller? Do they listen, they've taken weapons. Go get Drew Aller was player 94 on my board. Browns have gotten Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil, Warren, A+ pick. Love it. Absolutely love it. They needed a safety. Let's look at their depth chart. Love it. A+ pick. One of the best picks of the night. If not, I will say the best pick of the night. You had Ronnie Hickman and Grant Delpit. He'll probably replace Ronnie Hickman back there. Love it. Emmanuel McNeil, Warren, pure BPA. Browns have had a pretty solid draft. McNeil, Warren, love that pick, man. Love it. Houston now on the clock. And listen, if he hasn't gone now, I don't know if he's going to go anytime soon. If he hasn't gone now, when? If Jermon McCoy, his knee might be cooked. It is very clear that teams are very concerned about that knee. It's like, why is Jermon McCoy falling so far? It is so obvious. Man, you're getting an A+ player. But woo. I don't think he falls past the third. He had a great pro day. Really good pro day. McNeil, Warren, outside of McCoy, was my best player available. Cleveland takes him. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Houston could see a run on centers here. Number 2 center is Sam Heck out of Kansas. Like him, thinks he's a little bit raw, but do you like Sam Heck quite a bit? Okay, Texans take Michigan tight end. Earlier on tight ends than I thought. Thought we would see it in the 3rd round. They take Marlon Marlon out of Michigan. What pick was this? 59th overall. They didn't need a tight end. I'll give it a B grade. Michigan's tight end right here. Good blocker, good receiver. Think he fits the package. Was not on my top 100 big board. Did think there were better tight ends. I'm going to give it a C. I think there were better tight ends on the board. Delp being one of them. But you didn't need a tight end. So I think their tight end is Brevin Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. Dalton Schultz. I think Cleveland is a pretty similar. I'm really bad with my case, guys. I'm sorry. Similar player to Schultz, but okay. Was not on my top 100 big board though. So C grade. I'm gonna give it a C-. I don't feel like you really needed a tight end, but whatever. There were better ones on the board. Sam Roosh being one of them. Clean. Going to the Texans at pick 58. Second player I did not have a report on. All right, Titans trade up with the Bears. Tennessee will select Texas linebacker Anthony Hill Jr. Hey, they need a linebacker badly. You've got Cedric Gray there, young player. Chuck him in next to Cedric Gray. Really athletic linebacker. Moves well in coverage. good run defender. Can get kind of little. His eyes can get kind of a little bit lacking in coverage sometimes. Can get a little undisciplined in that coverage aspect. Robert Saleh, though, really like that defensive piece for the Tennessee Titans. Rams back on the clock here at pick 61. Selected Ty Simpson with their last pick. See what they go here. I take Chris Brazzell personally. With Puka put him in the slot some. Devontae Adams probably going to be his last year there. Chris Brazzell is my best receiver. Actually, no, Chris Bell is my best receiver remaining, but I get there's injury concerns. You also have health concerns with Bell. Stribling at 33 is the surprise. That is my surprise of the draft thus far. If the computer dies midstream, I'm sorry. It's at 31%. Hopefully it doesn't die. It might lag a little. Going to turn my brightness down ever so slightly as well. Going to try to conserve as much battery as we can to try and get through this third round because we still have 40 picks to go. Did start a little early though, so about halfway done, which... Tennessee selects Anthony Hill Jr. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Pair him next to Cedric Gray. Titans trade up with the Bears. We're in the 60s now. So Texans taking Michigan tight end Marlon Clean. Clean, I'm going to assume that's how you say it. Take a look at his scouting profile. Didn't get to any film of his. Third or fourth round grade. Probably could have. Accelerates to contact, runs with his feet. Strong hands. Allow for longer sustains once he's in. Efficient eluding traffic and keeping routes on time. He's new to the game. Only 12 starts, obviously, in the shadows of Colston Loveland. Light production. Only one touchdown. And he must become more forceful at clearing out catch space. I think it's a reach, personally. Somebody I didn't get to him because I didn't think he'd make my top 100 big board. Knew he would. For some of these guys, for some of these other guys, I'm not going to lie. Kind of look at their production and look at the PFF stuff, look at their scouting report, see if it's worth it, potentially putting them on my big board. 24 catches, 248 yards. I get it. The stats aren't everything. Third, fourth round grade. Not the most athletic guy. I don't know about that. Don't know about that pick. Could also pick they could pick Delp too in the third. Carolina is going to surprise me. I think Abney could be there. Rams have selected Max Clare. Okay. They just got Terrence Ferguson. So this doesn't make sense. Did like Max Clare quite a bit out of Ohio State. He was on my big board. I think he's very similar to Dalton Kincaid. I had Max Clare. I think he made my big board anyways. At player 76 on my big board. You just got Terrence Ferguson though. I'll give it a B grade though because I like the player. I like Max Clare. I know Sam Roosh and Oscar Delp won't go for a little. Run on tight ends rather than receivers in the second round though. That is kind of shocking. Denver on the clock. They're obviously not going to take a receiver. It's their first pick. And you're obviously not going to take a corner. They're not. I think so. It looks like McCoy will. I mean, man, do not let him go to Seattle at 64. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Rams get Max Clare. I like him. Like him. Think kind of Dalton Knox. With him. They could put him in the slot, maybe. Denver at 62. I don't know who they go here. Obviously, you're not going to take a corner. In Abney is sliding way past how good I think he is. Trade. Bills are coming up at 62. Broncos have not picked that yet next this year. Bills trading up. I mean, listen, they can get Jermod McCoy here. Let's look at their roster. I'm not 100% sure what they need. Off the top of my head, obviously. So they've got CJ Gardner-Johnson at nickel, Dorian Strong, Maxwell Harrison, Christian Benford. Do they have Christian Benford still? No, they got rid of Teron Johnson. That's right. So they got Benford and Strong. Maybe you get a corner here. They also have D. Alford. That doesn't really matter to me. So far in this draft, they have taken what have they taken? I'm going to have to look up because I honestly do not know what the Bills have done. They could go McCoy here. Let me look though. TJ Parker. Yeah, that's right. That's right. They picked TJ Parker. Like the pick. Okay. We've gotten TJ Parker. Man, if they could get Jermod McCoy here. End of the second. The slide stops. I can't have him going to Tampa. I cannot have him going to Tampa. Do not want McCoy in the division. That is my biggest concern. If we can't get him in the third, about 20. There are actually only 20 picks until 83. So if I'm Dan, I'm looking to move up potentially. Chris Bell still here. Chris Brazel still here. Kyle Louis still here. Especially if you want that linebacker nickel hybrid. Okay, Bills trading up to 62, and they're selecting Ohio State cornerback Davidson Igibison. Physical corner out of Ohio State. Big, long, rangy corner. Really good at the boundary. Jermod McCoy's cooked. Looks like Brandon had him at player 72. I'm gonna give this a B+. Like Igibison, took him 10 spots ahead of where I had him on the big board. And I also like Keith Abney more. Outside of Keith Abney, though, he was my next best corner. And yeah, so Jermod McCoy, I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on. Well, we do know what's going on. He's literally, his knees are chicken-legged. Depending on the computer battery, might get off here after the Panthers pick. Going to do as many picks as possible, though. Davidson Igibison out of Ohio State. Really like him. Long, rangy boundary corner. Physical corner. Didn't know if he'd go in the second round, to be completely honest with you. Thought he'd go in the third. I had a third round grade on him, but I like it. Ohio State corner, Davidson Igibison. The focus now switches to the Chargers. Pregnon is here. Oh my gosh. That is a dream scenario for Los Angeles. Go get Emmanuel Pregnon. But I'm just so scared Seattle's going to get freaking... I mean, I don't know. They need a corner. They really do. They need a Tariq Woolen replacement. Jermon McCoy is sliding beyond belief. Listen, I thought pick 70 on Twitter was a joke. He might actually go pick 70. Best fit is that. I'm not a Zachariah Branch guy. You know a lot of people are. Over 50% of his routes being screens, a literal screen merchant. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. The battery on the computer is getting quite low. So, and I have it plugged in. Don't know what more I can do. Could try and switch the mic out, but then the quality could... You know what? Rather have the stream going than the mic quality disintegrate. So hold on for a second. I'm going to try and get myself up to a more powerful charger. Okay. Now we're using iMac microphone. Just short. Okay. We're gonna have to use the MacBook camera, the MacBook microphone for the rest of the stream. Got into a better charger. Streaming on YouTube with all these tabs open just kills my battery. Absolutely kills it. So this is a really good charger. So hoping this works. Want to make sure I can still hear myself. Okay, the mic quality is going to completely disintegrate, but that's okay. Using the MacBook mic now. All right, Chargers pick is in. They've got to go Pregnon. Listen, until the computer dies. Until the computer dies. And even so, we'll switch to the iPhone. Because I know the iPhone can run longer. Go live on iPhone. So we will be streaming everything, no matter what. If my computer dies, we'll head to the iPhone. It's not going to be as polished. It's just probably going to be me and my live reactions. Might even turn the draft on the TV that way. But Chargers pick is in. Jake Slaughter. Very close to making my top 100 board. I'm wondering if Pregnon murdered somebody. And I don't use that term lightly. I got to get up and stretch. But Jake Slaughter in the 60s. Kind of a run on centers here. Logan Jones going. and Jake Slaughter out of Florida in the second round to the Chargers. They did need a center. Bradley Bozeman isn't going to cut it. Pregnon's still there, though. I think Seattle's going to take Abney. It is, to me, very obvious that Jermod may not go until day 3. The knee concerns seem to be just almost into the third round. Jake Slaughter at 63. They need a center. B grade. Even though he's not on my top 100, nobody really cares about my big board. So he was very close to making my top 100. I will say that. Very, very close to making my top 100. Really, I was really excited to watch Jake Slaughter. Was a little disappointed with him on film. Fuck, I just spilled my water. Okay. At center, Jake Slaughter. I think in the third we're going to see the run on quarterbacks. Last pick here in the second. In the third, I think we'll see the run on quarterbacks. My expertise on the prospects was also might decline ever so slightly. I should be fine, though, especially with some of the reaches. I had an elite third-round grade on Slaughter. Plays athletically, moves well, light frame. Would like to see him snap a little quicker versus power. Think he doesn't get up out of his stance quick enough. Works upfield zone experience starter. Does not push the pile in the run game. Not really a great lead blocker in terms of that. And very quick feet. Could become more sturdy. Could have a better anchor. But overall, good player. I think I put Brian Parker on my board. He's somebody I watched really, really late into the process. Very versatile offensive lineman. 100% if he made the final iteration of my big board. He might have. Brian Parker is player 100 on my big board. If they go him at center, I want to hate it. Very high on Oregon safety, nickel, Jaden Kennedy. Don't know if I take him in the third round if I'm Carolina, but could be a little bit of a reach. I don't think one thing that we have not done is reached. I would not call Lee Hunter at 49 a reach. Would not call oh man, all right. That's somebody I wanted, somebody I was very high on. Not quite second round high, but the Seattle Seahawks have selected safety Bud Clark out of TCU. Big Bud Clark fan. I was 82 on Bud Clark. Lower. I should have stuck with my gut on Stribling and Clark because it's obvious teams Stribling. That is an absolute shocker in my opinion. I love it though. Love Deshaun Stribling. I have to give it a B- because I think you could have easily had him later. All right. But Arizona on the clock now at 65. Third round is underway. Third round hopefully is a little quicker as well. So round three, you're also looking for a starter here. So guys are falling. Jermod McCoy does not go in the top 2 rounds. Arizona on the clock. And listen, Arizona did it last year with Will Johnson. Do they do it this year with Jermod McCoy? I mean, I think it is very obvious. By the way, one more note on Bud Clark. Love him. Absolute ball hawk. Strong ball production. He can play the slot. He can play deep. Love it. And I mean, dangerous piece there for the Seattle Seahawks. Does Arizona take this flyer on McCoy in the third round? Get the A plus? I mean, absolutely in the third. But at this point, I think teams are just assuming he's gonna have to sit out of here. Obviously, his knees are fried. That is a consensus. You could say that. You could say that. You could say that. We're pick 83 in the second round, so we are about 13 picks away from Carolina's second pick. Maybe, unless they don't trade up. Which, right now, looking at my big board, I absolutely trade up for Keith Abney. I think he could play nickel. Jalen Kilgore, guy I know they love out of South Carolina. I think if he's there at 83, I think he's the pick. Sam Rush or Delp, if you're going to go tight end. Kyle Louie, still there. I am 59 on Louie. Very, very high on Kyle Louie. Ted Hurty, I think you go wide receiver. I really do. You still have Bell, Brazel, Hurst. All right, here we go. Quarterback has been taken. Carson Beck is officially an Arizona Cardinal with the 65th overall pick. I don't hate Beck nearly as much as other people do. I'm going to give it a B-. Like Aller more, but I have Beck as QB4. As long as it wasn't Garrett Nussmeier, fine with it. Okay, Carson Beck in the third round. Probably your developmental starter, future starter. Carson Beck out of Miami going to Arizona. He will probably be playing a couple games this year. Oh. As of right now, I mean, Jermod McCoy, maybe at this point. But now it's like the further and further he falls, it's like, do you take him? Best. Who are the best available? Well, I think Brazel. Brazel is a great value in the third. We should be fine, battery-wise, by the way. This charger is a lot better. So we'll be completely fine battery-wise. Let me just make sure. Okay. The mic quality is going to be shit. But nobody's watching this anyway, so it doesn't even matter. We'll be able to go through all of the picks. Thank God. Really want to do that. My stamina is not great, guys. I'm first one to admit that. Am going to get a well-deserved snack after the Panthers pick here in the third round. I'll be pretty chill after we take our third round guy.
As we continue, round two is now the second straight year that 7 Ohio State players.
Okay. Probably again, I'll be watching day 3 of the draft. Just kind of, on my TV, on my computer, just kind of chill. I've been doing shows the last couple, enjoy night 3. Just kind of sit back and take it in. The expertise. Carson Beck is an Arizona Cardinal. I like it. Like it a lot. Some weird picks. But as we enter the third round of the draft, Carson Beck, man, he's a spotty quarterback. He really is. And his deep accuracy, Denver, by the way, on the clock now. And his middle of the field accuracy his deep ball accuracy is a massive concern of mine. But when he's on, he's on. And when he's off, God, he's off. Bro, they made James Conner announce it. That's so mean. Is that James Conner? Bro, they have the audacity to go ahead and draft his replacement. Well, and Algier's replacement. And Trey Benson's replacement. Think Denver is on the clock here. As far as I know, pick is in for the Denver Broncos. We are round 3. Pick 2. I'd like Kyle Louis. I don't think they've made a pick yet. Big Citrus and Grayson Holton could be good for them in that interior. They lost Franklin Myers to Tennessee. We're getting close to Carolina's pick. Denver. Checking Julian Shorts and Aaron Marov. Okay, Broncos have selected Texas A&M Tyler Oyindiam. Okay, did not make my top 100 big board, but heard good things about him. Pull up his scouting report. Tyler Oyindiam. 18 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 48 total tackles. The guy did not watch film on. Full transparency. So this is from NFL.com. There are so many guys in this draft. Can't watch film on all of them. Wasn't on my big board. Next time, I'm really going to get to the process earlier to get more guys. Some strengths, impressive athlete with good length plus strength, versatility to play a 3 technique on odd or even front, explosive first step, makes him primed for penetration. This is all according to Lance Zierlein, not me. And some weaknesses. Lacks typical lower body mass for interior scraps, has to fight harder to hold off downhill run blocking schemes, and can be displaced vertically by stronger zone blockers. So this is your John Franklin Myers replacement in the 3rd round. Again, Holton was there, and I kind of base a lot of who I watch film on and, the guys I get to off the PFF in the consensus boards. He was not high up there. So that is kind of one of the harder things about the draft is you never know. I'm going to give it a C grade. Actually, no, I'm gonna give it a B minus. No, not a guy I watched film on. Looked at his stats just now, and not gonna act like I'm an expert. 5th-year senior, transferred from Iowa State, made immediate impact. Impressive athlete, explosive first step, long arms, beats blockers into gaps, can set edges. Pass rushes behind his run defense, but the tools and flashes are promising. Star athleticism and a 3 tech. I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a B minus. Like it. Yeah. Raiders pick is in as well. Tyler Oyindiam. Kieran Crawford. Okay. Another guy who was on the absolute fringe of my big board. I did get to him. And like the pick, I think, for Vegas. Need a pass rusher. Kind of, sort of. I mean, they have Cody Pay and Max Crosby. But again, third round is okay to draft for depth a little bit. Let me see, actually. Did I have Crawford on my big board? I don't think I did. He was almost there for me, but not quite. Couldn't get on him. Let me get to my personal scouting report with Kieran Crawford. Did watch film on him. Pretty explosive guy. Good production. Don't know where my report for good old Kieran Crawford is. So right here. All right. 6'4", 253. I actually think I looked at this earlier. I had a late third round grade on him. So I probably could have had him on my big board. He was a third round talent for me. So I'm going to give this pick a B. No, B+. B+. I think he's a really good player. Solid bend around the edge. Doesn't do great against run blockers. Really good run blocking guards who can have great lead block. Eagles pick is him, by the way. Limiting his ability to finish tackles. So his block shedding is not the greatest. Does better when working inside than outside. Going best as a 3-4 outside linebacker. Wish he had a little bit more juice outside. But Kieran Crawford, certainly a guy who is capable of producing. You know, decent production. 5 sacks with Auburn last year. And PFF pressure numbers because I like the pressures a little bit better. Looking at the pressure numbers, are in a 76.3 PFF grade and had 43 pressures, which is really good. Want to look at how many pressures the interior lineman for Tyler O'Neill with the Broncos. Honestly, kicking myself in the foot that I did not go to his film. They have player 244, and I've been going down the list on PFF. So I won't do that next year. I'll try and find a little bit more consensus. I was trying to get about 150 guys done. All of PFF's top 150. But I've heard of him, but on Twitter. But at least, listen, I'm at least honest when I say I don't know as much about a player. ODM 17 pressure, 71.9 PFF grade. 31 solo tackles, which is pretty solid, especially for a run defender. 27 stops. Pick is in for the Philadelphia Eagles. God, if they get Jermod McCoy, I'm going to be pissed. Markel Bell. I like the pick. Absolute behemoth on that offensive line. I was a little bit higher on Markel Bell than some were. I had Markel Bell at 96. They take him a little early. Philly does take him a little early. But let me switch my camera around. Easiest starter. Let's look at the again, third rounders, in my opinion, should still be expected to contribute. Lane Johnson's getting older. Jordan Mailata. So He does need refinement. I do like this pick. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B plus. Developmental tackle behind Lay Johnson. He's not gonna be there forever, and he does need a lot of refining to his game. Love the athletic. Love not the athletic profile, but I love just the behemoth of a man that Markel Bell is. I love the pick. I absolutely love it. All right. Up next, Chicago Bears on the clock at 69. Keith Abbey has not gone yet. A guy, in my opinion, who could absolutely play nickel. So, Dan. For some reason, I feel like they're going to take Connor Lew. I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I think Connor Lew would be good value. Where did I have Connor Lew? I think I had Connor Lew on here. Might have not. I had Connor Lew at 92. Okay. So, I mean, if they took a center, either him or Sam Heck would also be really good. We've taken so many trench players. I just feel like you can get a good center in the third, but it doesn't make any sense. Oh, gotta be with a top 75 pick. Why are you taking a backup? If I told you that Sam Roosh would go before, I don't think we're going to take McCoy because of his knee situation. We met with him. And I guess Dan's just playing the draft right now. Grayson Alton, Chris McClellan. McClellan, somebody I got to really late in the draft process again. Out of Missouri, I like him a lot as a really high upside pass rushing defensive tackle. Obviously, I love Kalen Proctor. He's one of my guys. Sam Roosh at 69. Cole Kmet. You're not taking a number 3 tight end. Sam Roosh. They've got Loveland. They've got Kmet. I love the player. I don't like the pick. C. They've got Kmet, which, okay. Who knows? AJ and Avion on the same team. How often is it that brothers get to play on the same team? Avion Terrell is already in Atlanta, celebrating with AJ. You know AJ is probably stoked, probably vouched for Avion big time. The Terrell duo. One of the... well, but listen, we've got trenches, so got to be the best at one thing. Certainly do have the best trenches. Niners pick is in at pick 70 here. It's a C. It's a C because they have Kmet and they have Loveland, who is your starting tight end, no matter what. So, and I think Sam Roosh should be a starting tight end. I love Sam Roosh. Texans, the Niners have selected Texas Tech edge rusher Romello Height. They go. Did they go pass rusher already? No, they went Stribling. Now they're going Height. Like him a lot as a rotational pass rusher for what he is. I think I do like the idea of him rotating on third down with Mykel Williams. You have Mykel Williams on first and second down. I'm going to give this an A grade because I really think I like how it's going to fit with the Niners scheme. And I think Romello Height's best role is as a designated third down pass rusher. And he is the complete opposite player that Michael Williams is. So the Stribling, listen, I'm gonna like the Stribling pick a lot more than others. But I like the Stribling pick a lot more than others will. Lots of people aren't gonna like it. I don't really care. Washington on the clock here at 71. Romello Height just went Washington on the clock. Pregnon's still there. I mean, I'm losing kind of track of who they have taken. The green. Pick is in for the Commanders. I shouldn't be this nervous about a third rounder. I am, though. It's my team. Every pick is so valuable. We've got to hit our second and third rounders, man. I mean, Princely, I hope he can develop. Trevin, God, maybe he can develop. We've got to be able to hit on a third rounder. The second round of this draft is stacked. The run on receivers has not happened yet. This is a perfect time to take a guy like Chris Bell. Take Chris Bell or Chris Brazzell. Take the top off the defense. Washington, the Commanders did not have a second round pick. That's right. I'm running. Is Pregnon gone? I'm running the table for Emmanuel Pregnon. Maybe there were some character issues I did not see. Running the freaking table. A+ grade for Washington if they can go get Emmanuel Pregnon. You've got Chris Paul and Sam Cosmi right there at guard. Gotta go get Pregnon. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be kind of pissed if the Panthers take another trench player. But linebackers, I think the linebacker board is falling. Kyle Louie still is available, and I love Kyle Louie. Trying to think linebacker. He might be the only one. Trotter's gotten taken. Golday's gotten taken. I think. Has Golday gotten taken? I think he has. I think they took somebody took Jake Golday in the second. Again, I'm losing track of this, guys. Yes, Vikings took him. Allen's gone. Hill Jr.'s gone. Trotter's gone at linebacker. So Kyle Louie, who can also play in that nickel safety linebacker. I mean, such a versatile player. You need somebody in pass coverage to help the pass coverage unit. And I think, honestly, that's my favorite pick. I'll be right back. Go get Kyle Louie. I think I'd be a fan of Louie or Brazzell or Bell. And obviously Jermod McCoy. But, I mean, Antonio Williams. All right. 71. A grade for the Washington Commanders here. Had him really high up on my board. Really good value. They get an A. I had Antonio Williams. I had him in my top 50. They get a top 50 player here at 71. Had him at player 47. Very versatile gadget receiver. Not a gadget receiver, don't want to say that. Really, really good. You can line him in the slot, line him outside. You can give him even some handoffs. So, love the Antonio Williams pick. That's gonna get an A grade. That's gonna get an A grade from me. I'm gonna try and center out my camera a little more. Antonio Williams at 71. Dan could also trade back. I don't know if trading back in the third is all that worth it. I mean, well, we'll have to see, man. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. Antonio Williams to the Commanders, a pick. Draft resumes at 12 p.m. tomorrow. So I'll be watching that. Will not be streaming it though. Who's going to get the best value on day 3? I don't know. I hope it's the Panthers. Antonio Williams to the Commanders, a pick. Come on, Dov. Not Dov. Ari and Jordan Schultz, because they seem to be the fastest. Okay, we get some analysis time. I am going to go get a well-deserved snack break. I swear to God, if the Panthers trade up and pick, I'm going to be pissed. I'll know because I'm bringing my phone with me. Snack break. Stay tuned. smoothable and bathroom break, but I'm going to react to a couple picks here. I do need another bathroom break, though. Actually, you know what? I can wait. All right, what has happened? Malachi Fields goes to the Giants. D. Don't like Malachi Fields. They've had a really good draft thus far. There are so many better receivers on the board. Not a Malachi Fields fan at all. I think he's slow. I think he's unathletic. Don't like Malachi Fields. D. Oscar Delp going to the New Orleans Saints into Tacario Davis going to the Bengals. I actually think I took Tacario Davis off of my big board. So, but they did need a corner. Some flash grades here. I mean, I give it a B. He was very, very close to making it. Yeah, I took him off. Very, very close to making it, but he's very raw. He's big and he's fast, though. So he's a 6'4", 4'4" speed corner. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that, especially in the third round. Thought he might have gone to the fourth, but I'm cool with that. Dolphins are on the clock at pick 11. Where are we? We are at pick 75. Miami on the clock. Gonna pull the draft back up. So Tacario Davis, I'm gonna give it a B grade too. They do need another corner outside of a DJ Turner. Another really big, physical, fast corner. Don't love him in man coverage. He can kind of get lost on an island. Oscar Delp to the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to give this a B grade. I think they still have Juwan Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. And now the tight ends that I would have wanted are off the board. Oscar Delp goes. Yeah, they still have Juwan Johnson, and they have Noah Fant. Actually, I'm going to give it a... I'm going to give it... upper third round. Listen, I was never the highest on Delp. I'm actually lower, knowing I really like Fant as a player. I know it hasn't really worked out for him quite yet. I mean, I say quite yet. He's like 29 years old. I'm going to give it a C. I mean, don't love these three picks back to back to back. Dan, trade up for Jermod McCoy. I'm on it right freaking now, bro. Trade up for Jermod. Trade up for Jermod McCoy. Trade up for Jermod McCoy. At 83, listen, we have busted on so many day two players. If you take McCoy, you can at least say you tried. There's no way he falls to round 4. The Dolphins could make up for all the trash things that they have done this year. I love the J-Rod pick by taking Jermod McCoy right now. Giants trade with the Browns. And then Giants get Malachi Fields. Not a fan of that pick at all. Don't like it. D. Dolphins select the Texas Tech wide receiver, Caleb Douglas. Thought he was more of a fifth round guy. With Brazel on the board and with Bell on the board, really? He's not somebody I watched the film for. 54 catches, 846 yards, 7 touchdowns. Oh, what's his prospect profile? Could have been a fourth round guy, potentially. Again, not somebody I got into in the process. .439, 6'3", 206. Good production. Second team All Big 12 conference. Long, slender outside contract with good production, uneven tape, enticing moments. His focus drops. Oh, brother. Steelers on the clock. Doing some Caleb Douglas research to see if I like this pick. 70.6 grade. 7 drops is a little too many. Dolphins need a receiver, though. They get a height, weight, speed. They get a height, speed guy with pretty good production. I'm going to go B+. There were receivers that I liked more. They had him at around 5'6". And I wasn't really going over many day 3 guys. Tall, long, 7'9" wingspan. Can play through early route contact. Smooth and natural when playing fades and deep balls. Makes good use of his catch radius. And weaknesses are the drops. And struggles to create workspace when contested. So I guess guys struggles with contested catches, has some drops. Again, Bell, Brazel were right there. But again, I know Brazel has some flags. Steelers have selected Drew Aller. That's an A grade for me. Like him a lot. But Will Howard is done. I think Drew Aller has some of the best upside. I think he has some of, if not the best upside of this class. It's an A grade for me. Love Drew. I really like Drew Aller. I really do. In the third round. Was not expecting him quite to go in the third round, but I like him. Like this pick here for Pittsburgh. They get Penn State and Ohio State quarterbacks on the roster. If the third round QB, you're not committing to him, so it could still be Howard, who gets a job. Spent a fifth rounder on him. Third rounder doesn't, hold you to anything. Keontae Scott is still here in the second. I completely forgot about him. He's a little older. Can only play nickel. That's who we freaking need, though. Packers on the clock. All right, we're back. Love the Aller pick. People aren't gonna like him. I did have him a little bit lower on my big board, but again, for what they need, I'm not gonna give it an A. I'm gonna give it a B. I think they could have waited potentially. B plus. If they're gonna take a quarterback, though, he is by far the best quarterback available. Yeah, simple as that. Best QB available. Lag. All right. Okay, we're back. The Packers pick is in. Obviously, Jermod McCoy, Kyle Louis. Bro, Dan, please, Kyle Louis. Okay. Checking our good old friend. We'll join Will Howard and maybe Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. Packers have selected Missouri defensive tackle Chris McClellan, who sneaks into my big board, actually. Like Chris. And my big board doesn't want to win, which is awesome. I think I had him in the 90s. Really, really good pass rushing production. Slightly undersized, especially in the run game. But really, really good pass rushing DT. And I think the Packers need more pass rush. So I like the pick. I like it. B. I'm gonna give it a B. I like it. Like it a lot. B plus. A B plus. Yeah, I can give it a B plus. Chris McClellan is somebody I really like. Good pass rush DT with upside. Could work on filling those holes in his game, obviously. Kind of I don't want to mess up with another DT. If I can't find my scouting report on him, that's fine. Colts pick is in anyways. Yeah, I can't find my scouting report on him. But I know he's a really good defensive tackle with pass rush upside. Could play with a little bit more anchor especially in the run game, but like him for who he is. And the Colts have selected AJ Halsey, another potential Carolina Panther, is off the board because Dan Morgan does not know what he's doing. It's like I want to say Dan knows what he's doing, but my God, if we take a center, especially with these receivers on the board, I'm going to be pissed, bro. Pissed. I mean, Sam Hecht wouldn't be bad. Would not hate him. Let me go shut my door. Sam Hecht would not hate Sam Hecht. But outside of that, man, you could not, no more trenches, anti-trenches on this third round pick. LSU safety 78. Bro, Jermod McCoy at 83. You cannot pass up on him. You can't. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to go take a 2-minute break. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. AJ Halsey to the Colts. Needed a safety. A grade. Okay, Falcons have selected Zachariah Branch at 79. He was not my favorite player. I like him though on the offense. Gonna get a B- for me. Decent compliment on that offense. God, who's the receiver next to Drake London? I like him on that offense. I think I do. But I hope we don't take some bum. I really don't. I like Jahan Dotson. But you can replace Amaladi Zacchaeus as kind of that gadgety player. Colts are going to take AJ Halsey. Love that pick. A pick. Hard-hitting guy. I would have been fine with him in the second round for the Panthers. Second round quality player in the third round. That's what you're kind of looking for. Daniel, please don't fuck up this pick. Sorry. Language. I'm going to give a language warning right now. It could get bad. It could get really bad. It could get extraordinarily bad. So language warning. Oh. I swear to God, if we get that guy out of Alabama, I can't say that. Cannot say that live. Cannot get that linebacker out of Bama. I don't want him in the 6th round. I don't want him in the 7th round. Bro, I'm scared, bro. If they go Deontay Lawson, you are about to see the biggest live crash out of the world. I'd rather Harold Perkins. I'd rather Caleb Alarms. Or not bad with Bryce Botcher. If they're going to go linebacker, just Duke Halloween. He's so much. He is exactly what you need. Yes, he's undersized. Maybe not as good in the run game. Good finishing tackles. But he's so good in coverage. Arguably the best coverage linebacker in the draft. You could drop him back at safety. You can play him at nickel. Potentially bro. He is such a versatile chess piece in your secondary, your linebacker / secondary core. Don't go Deontay Lawson. If they want to go Harold Perkins Jr., fine. Athletic freak who can run and hit, who is going to really need some refining in his game. They don't have a player report. I'm pretty confident about talking about Harold Perkins if they were to go Harold Perkins. Falcons are going to go Branch. Edge, Barham could be a good option here. Could put him at linebacker edge. Wouldn't mind him if we were going to go edge. Don't really want to go edge. Jermod McCoy. I mean, Keontae Scott's here. Jermod McCoy's here. Keith Abney's here. Malik Muhammad could be a guy that they go. I would not hate that option here in the 3rd round. But there are better options, in my opinion, for what we need. I think Scott is a true nickel, and that's what we need. And I had a late 1st round grade on Abney. I love Keith Abney. He is bottom 1 quality player for me, which is saying something. So let's see if we got any more draft news. Falcons pick Branch. Get Amaladi Zacchaeus out of there. Ravens have taken Jacoby Lane at 80. He did not make my big board. Oh, brother. Okay. Franchise guys, not going to like this pick at all. At 80. The certified TFG hate player. For Lamar. You have Brazel. Let's look at receiver. But Jacoby Lane he can't beat press coverage. I can beat press coverage better. Like he is so bad against press. Though you got Bateman, we've got Flowers. He could work himself potentially into that third option. I know Bell is coming off an injury, but man, oh man, Carolina doesn't usually take players with concerns though. I need Dan to freaking do something. This has been a lackluster. Not a lackluster. Listen, Freeling is good value, and so is Lee Hunter. Not going to call it lackluster. It's a trenches draft. Get my boy Surratt. Skylar Bell, whatever. I'm okay if they pick Skylar Bell. Where the hell is Chris Bell on here? Did Chris Bell go? He's 5 remaining, okay? I love Chris Bell. Ted Hurst would be awesome. Elijah Surratt would be cool, but I already kind of have him in Coker. Deion Burks, they have met with him. Maybe later would be cool. Bryce Lance, later. Kevin Coleman Jr., later. Brennan Thompson, okay. Caldwell, later. This is a very deep receiver class. But man, Brazel is right here. Go a volunteer. I want a volunteer. Please take a volunteer. Or hell, trade down. If you're gonna not take who I want, trade down. Bro, just take Jermod McCoy. I will be so happy. Don't take a fucking center. Like we first 2 picks have been on trenches. We gotta do something else. Gotta do something else. We'll they haven't shown that they really value center all that much. Oh, but the trenches, guys, the trenches. Yeah, the trenches mean nothing if you can't fucking score. And you can't stop the pass. And we have a great O-line. We have a great D-line. You gotta get a weapon. I'm happy, with both of our picks. Just cannot have another trenches pick. Again, not mad. Freeling is good value. B+ pick. Super athletic left tackle of the future. Maybe kick Icky inside. Icky could play guard or tackle. That's the great thing about it. I'm not done. I'm not giving up on Icky. I refuse. We spent way too much draft capital on him in 2023, I think it was, to give up on him. Jags have selected Texas A&M Albert Regis. All right. Daniel Morgan, please, bro. Please. Who? Okay. Albert Regis will read the scouting report because he's not somebody that I had on my big board or that I went over. Kind of out of left field. 18 solo tackles, 2 sacks, forced fumble, 49 tackles. Texas A&M defensive tackle. Combine and his prospect profile out of A&M. Good backup with potential to develop into a starter. 4.88 40-yard dash. So pretty damn athletic. 6'1", 295. A little bit undersized. Like this pick, though, for Jacksonville. Not going to be a nose tackle. 2-gapper. Potentially. I don't think he's a nose tackle with that size. Maybe he could be. Built with good bend, optimal leverage, and balance. Resets the line of scrimmage. This is not my scouting report, by the way. Resets line of scrimmage when heads up with centers. Rips a heavy punch through the blocker's pads and locks out instantly. Weaknesses: arm length falls below the standard at his position. And finds himself in trouble if he's tardy with his hand strikes. Gets close, but will miss on tackles due to a lack of length. Also a guy that does not have the greatest length, but he's fairly athletic. So B grade. All right, Vikings on the clock. They could totally take Jermon McCoy. Vikings have had a damn good. Wait, did they? Somebody took. Vikings have had a questionable draft. Golden, okay, whatever. Banks, okay, fine. Bro, I need us to lock the hell in. Carolina still at 83. Carolina on the clock. Fuck, bro. Language alert, language alert, language alert. I'm going to preface it right now. Language. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to compose myself. It's either going to be of absolute adoration in the love for Daniel Morgan, or it's going to be like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, okay. If we are to take a center or line, Chris Hecht, my number one center left on the board. Connor Lew would be fine. Trey Zune, you do have some flexibility with him, so I would not hate that if they went Zune or Hecht. Don't think they're going to take – I mean, if they took Pregnon, it is very good value. At this point in the draft, I would not hate Pregnon. I would not hate Hecht. If we're going to go all in the trenches, okay? Wouldn't hate Hecht, wouldn't hate Zune, and I wouldn't hate Pregnon. I don't think you could play. I don't know if he could play center, but hell, I mean, I'd love McCoy, Brazel, Louis, Abney. Give me any of those guys. Kilgore could be another pick. Bro, I'm fucking nervous. I'm nervous. Again, I probably won't be this nervous in the fourth. Okay. Pick 41 is in. Pick is in. Carolina on the clock. 8-3. 8-9 last year. We've gotten trenches, both picks. Offensive line and defensive line. Lee Hunter, run stopping, nose D tackle. They're behind the picks, bro. Pick is in for the Minnesota Vikings, which means Carolina's just going to come out rapid fast. Just make me happy, please. Okay, they go Big Citrus. Really like Big Citrus. Good value for the Vikings needing defensive line help, especially after trading Jonathan Grenard. Gonna go really pick. Love I am my player 70. I'm gonna go A pick here for the Vikings. Really physical player. Dominic Orange. Okay. Daniel Morgan, please don't piss me off here. Jermod McCoy, come on. It's got to be Jermod McCoy. It has to be Jermod McCoy. It probably won't, but they met with him. They've met with Jermod McCoy. Wouldn't hate Abney. Would not hate Kilgore here. Think it's fine value for him. Wouldn't hate Brazel. Okay. Hold on. Whoa. Lagging again. Okay. Won't hate Brazel, obviously. Won't hate Chris Bell here. Won't hate Jermon McCoy. If you're going to go down with injury concerns, though, go Jermon McCoy over Chris Bell. Wouldn't hate Chris Bell, though. Dominic Orange, Carolina on the clock. Still. You might know the pick. Chris Brazel! Let's freaking go! Daniel Messiah Morgan. Happy with that pick. Get out of here, Kadoosh. Get out of here. A plus pick right there. A pick. Love Chris Brazel. Love Chris Brazel. Again, somebody that I would have been willing to take in the second round. Love Chris Brazel. I think he was my number 6 or 7 receiver. Can't remember if I had him over or under Chris Bell. I have Chris Bell stupid high. I'm very high on Chris Bell. But the first pick that I love at 42, Chris Brazzell, A grade for the Carolina Panthers. We've had a fairly – and Chris Brazzell is a deep threat that we need. We needed a deep threat. And Chris Brazzell is certainly that guy. Welcome to the Carolina Panthers. This is a borderline first-round talent, and you're getting him at pick 83. This is an A grade. Overall, looking at the big picture, always look at the big picture. If they took Brazzell at 19, I would not have been that mad, y'all. I wouldn't have. I would have given it a C grade. But it would have been like, okay, like, sure. I love Chris Brazzell. Love Chris Brazzell. We've got a weapon. Love you, Dan Morgan. Wow. Love Dan Morgan. Get us a wide receiver. Now, interesting to see what they are going to do. Is their day done? Is their day done? That is the question for them. Monroe Freeling, Lee Hunter, Chris Brazzell. All first or second round talents, in my opinion. Carolina, I could go A- with this draft. Love all three of these guys a lot. Chris Brazzell, give Bryce Young a deep threat. Kick Kadoosh off. And honestly, XL, he's going to be able to fight. Brazzell should have been picked a long time ago. He should have been picked a long time ago. This is a late first, early second, probably more early second round quality of a player. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, interesting to see if we trade back into the third, because we haven't done a lot of trade maneuvering. Haven't given really up much. We've only made one trade in this draft so far. I would not hate it if we traded back into the third. We've got pick 119. We've got some ammunition if we want to move around a little. So I do not hate it at all. Chris Brazzell, love the freaking pick. And listen, if you got Brazzell in the second, this is kind of how I'm thinking. I don't love the back-to-back trenches picks, right? Oh, boring. Oh, well, that's all Dan Morgan cares about. Chris Brazzell, if they took him in the second, I would have been thrilled. If they take Lee Hunter in the third, I would have been thrilled. Absolutely mastermind right there. Love Chris Brazzell. Get Kadoosh the hell off my team. I've used that for too much. Probably going to get demonetized. Get him off my team. Psych. Lael Collins situation could happen. Love Chris Brazzell. That's my favorite pick of the draft. I like the Lee Hunter pick. After the fact, a little bit more. That is the first let's freaking go pick of the draft for me. That is the first let's freaking go draft of the pick of the draft for me. Love Chris Brazzell. All three players of the draft, in my opinion, potentially outside of Lee Hunter, right? Lee Hunter was lower on my board than what we picked him, but I'm also a little lower on Lee Hunter. In the second round, though, I don't hate it. Chris Brazzell, absolute. I'm looking at an A-. A for Brazzell, B+ to A- for Freeling, and probably a B for Lee Hunter. But Pick 159 from. That was worded really poorly. Lee Hunter is a pure run stuffing nose tackle. And I think he's a very similar player to Bobby Brown. Ooh, Tampa going Ted Hurst. Another receiver I really like. Going to give them a B+ grade for it. Really like Ted Hurst. Pretty high on him. I think Brazel is a far better player. I think Brazel is a better player than Ted Hurst is, for the record. They obviously still believe. I said the same thing. I'm kind of a more believer in Trevin than I am in. I love that pick though. Absolutely love it. You know, Keontae Scott's still here, y'all. Kyle Louis still here. Kyle Louis would be one of the steals of the night if he goes tomorrow. Really freaking high on him. Justin Jolie, we could get later. Wouldn't hate center in the fourth, depending on who it is. Especially since, you know, we've got another pass catcher. Ted Hurst, number 65 on the big board. Yeah, I'm giving an A to Tampa. Think they got good value on that. Oh, go ahead. Ted Hurst. Really freakishly good receiver. Whew. Absolutely love Chris Brazel. Get a weapon. Love him. He was picked 41 spots. Now, I was higher than consensus on Chris Brazel, but it's looking like it could be a really talented. Okay, Dalen Everett out of Georgia. Okay. Let me get my scouting report because I did him a little bit ago. Should have him. Should have Everett on here. I thought I went over him. Pittsburgh though needing a corner. How's Abney still on the board is my biggest question. I'll give it a B because I think there's still a better corner left on the board. Did Pregnon kill somebody? Like, how is he not gone? I know McCoy's not gone. Pregnon makes 0 sense. Doing their press. So, looks like they are going to be done for the night. Browns have to trade up. They took a they've now traded up and they've taken tackle Austin Barber, who is a developmental lineman and could play guard. Okay. Browns take Barber. As a developmental guard, I don't know why Pregnon is not gone. So B, like, yeah, you need it, but there are so many better players that you could have taken. So, generational crash outs today, but we'll get through it. Yeah, I think Dan's gonna be done for the day. Whatever, man. What freaking ever. Yeah, 9 views low for a stream, so I'm gonna check some things. Usually I get a lot more for a stream. My TikTok did well though. But 9 views on the entirety of a stream, not great. So don't know what went wrong on my end. I guess people have who they want to go to the draft with. I like breaking down the draft, and when people aren't watching, I can kind of be a little uncensored. So, all right, I'm kind of going to be on the back burner for these last couple picks. I want to watch the Panthers press.
We just felt like, hey, like.
Again, they taken Lee Hunter in the third, and Chris Brazel in the second. I would have absolutely been ecstatic, but could get them the other way around.
All right. So first off, jacked about tonight and being able to get Lee Hunter and Chris Brazel, two guys that we obviously thought very high of. Start off with Lee, just like big, physical, point of attack guy who's athletic enough to get up and down the line of scrimmage, makes a lot of plays, eats up a lot of blockers.
I think I am going to hop off for the night.
Chris Brazel,
gonna watch the Panthers press conference, and I will see you later.
Catch radius, can adjust really well downfield. He's got the speed to take the top off, take it the distance. So another guy, again, we're extremely